Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome and good evening, wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8. Teppei returned to Hinamizawa to escape some trouble. He'd have to stay there for the rest of the summer, perhaps the whole year, and see what happened. For him, the house in Hinamizawa was like a rather dull hiding place. His lover, Rita, had suddenly disappeared. Rumors told him she was involved in some dangerous deal. Some sources even told him that she had already been caught and killed. Everyone he knew was aware that Rita was living with him. Everyone also assumed that he knew everything about what Rita did. They were convinced that he got money by tricking her into doing something, and as a result some dangerous men came after him. That made it difficult for him to stay in Okonomiya. More than anything, it pissed him off to find out that Rita was cooking up something behind his back with some other guys. Hinamizawa was about the only place he could go. He couldn't go back to the house where he used to live with his wife, as it had been abandoned since he moved into Satoko's house. Besides, he didn't even have the key to his old place. But he went to Satoko's house. She should still be there, and she could clean and cook for him too. Teppei didn't know how to cook or clean, and he certainly wasn't thinking of learning. Rina had often been rebellious toward Teppei. He had often said that he wanted to be with someone more loyal, like a pet. For Teppei, Satoko was exactly what he wanted. As Satoko is still a little kid, she can't satisfy him sexually, but he can at least make her wash his back in the bath. Satoko's dead mother used to be a pretty woman. Satoko might grow up to become a pretty lady herself in about 4 or 5 years. Teppei headed back to Hinamizawa with those indecent thoughts in his head. The house was locked, so he assumed that she was at the market for the grocery shopping. He found her at the store and dragged her back home. However, the house was full of dust. She'd been living at her friend's house for the past year, and the house had been abandoned. Teppei exploded in anger. He told her that it was her responsibility to keep the house in order. He beat her and kicked her down to the floor. Eventually, Satoko's expression returned to what he remembered from 1982. Satoko started obeying him immediately and cleaned up the house. A new place to hide with a new girl. His new life was starting out pretty good. Teppei called his buddies to show off his new beginning, and ended up playing mahjong with them. He bragged about his new pet, and made her serve them food and drinks. He told her to walk on all fours like a real pet. She refused, but she obeyed immediately when he tried to hit her. Everyone was laughing, and they were all jealous of him. Teppei felt really good about himself. However, someone arrived to interrupt this perfect life. I'm a teacher from Hinamizawa Branch School. My name is Chie. Is Satoko Hojo-san here? He'd thought someone was at his door to sell insurance or something. But it was a school teacher. Huh? What the hell? What do you want with Satoko? I came here because she didn't come to school today. I wasn't able to get a hold of her, so I'm wondering what happened. Huh? School? Yes. Is she home? I need to talk with her. She's sick. That's right. She has a cold. Satoko is resting because she has a fever. I need to give her some handouts. May I please see her? You idiot. Weren't you listening to what I just said? Satoko is sick. She's sleeping right now. I can't let you see her. This was going to cause him problems, Teppei realized. Satoko was just a pet for him, and he had no intention of sending her to school. But her teacher had shown up at his house just because she missed one day. This wasn't good. Teppei hates schools, and he really hates teachers. I see. Do you think she can come to school tomorrow? Who knows? I won't know until tomorrow. You idiot. I see. All right. Please tell her that I came by. Thank you. He was able to get rid of the teacher, but it would create more problems if he didn't send Satoko to school tomorrow. Teppei didn't need even more trouble on his plate. That meant he couldn't beat up Satoko like he wanted to. Violence was the only way he knew how to communicate. With that out of the picture, it was very difficult for him. He wanted to beat up Satoko, but that would leave evidence on her body. If that happened, he wouldn't be able to send her to school. And if she didn't go to school, that teacher would show up at his doorstep again. Shit. On top of all that, the Child Consultation Center paid a visit to his house that night. The teacher must have filed a report. That bitch. Teppei thought, next time I'll beat her in the face, so hard she'll need plastic surgery. Since Satoko was afraid of him, she pretended she was really sick when the social worker visited. It was so easy for Teppei to control her. He considered Satoko to be a convenient pet, but at the same time, he'd need to be careful of the consultation center. Ah, fucking hell, this ain't gonna work at all. Damn it, why did she do that? That's about what I expected. Mian called me in the middle of the night. The social worker went to Satoko's house tonight after getting a call from the school. They had a talk with Satoko and her uncle. He told them that Satoko didn't go to school today because of a cold. He also claimed he didn't call the school because he didn't have the number. He explained that he spoke with Chie-sensei politely and that she just misunderstood his behavior. Satoko didn't really talk, but she never denied what her uncle was saying. So she said there is no abuse, and that she doesn't need any help, yes. Satoko's always thought that her brother disappeared because she kept relying on him. That's why. She thinks she needs to handle it on her own without seeking anyone's help. That's ridiculous. According to the social worker, she didn't have any obvious injuries, so I think this isn't an urgent case. It seems that she's being fed, and she has a place to sleep too. Shouldn't that be a given? Are you saying it's not abuse as long as she has something to eat and somewhere to sleep? That's how they view it, at least. In some cases, people refuse to even let the social worker come inside the house. Just because they were to talk with the uncle tonight, they determined that it wasn't urgent. So after all that, they put her case on hold. I bet Shion is disappointed. Yeah, just like how Satoko refuses to seek anyone's help because of Satoshi, Shion is also desperately trying to save Satoko because of him. She seems calm now, though, even though she's very upset. I know this isn't the time for complaining. But where the hell did Satoshi go? His sister is in danger. I have no idea where he is. I know. I'm sorry. I was hoping that he would save her if he came back, but it's a waste of time to think about that. I can't hope for someone else to save her. We're the ones who will. That's right. We have to do what we can. I'm impressed with the power of the Sonozaki family, though. You have information from the social work already? You must have a spy in the center. That's a national secret. So you know someone who knows a lot about the center? Did they give you any idea what we should do next? Well, I was advised to stay calm and see what happens. What the hell? Did you talk to them about the situation she's in right now? Her uncle is locking her up and he's abusing her. Why should we just kick back and see what happens? Well, Kei-chan? This is not my opinion, okay? I'm just telling you that I was told by contact. See, it is true that Satoko didn't show up at school today, but it's just one day. It's not like she's been absent for weeks or months. We can't really deny the possibility that she has a cold, but she's being abused. You're saying that we should stay calm while she is being physically and emotionally harmed? Wait a minute, Kei-chan. That's the whole point. We're concerned because we know what's happened to her last year, but she wasn't hurt yesterday or today. We can't really prove if she's being abused or not. She may not have a bruise on her body yet, but it's only a matter of time. Besides, isn't it abuse to force her to come back and live with him? Remember what we were talking about at school. It's normal for a legal guardian to take in the child under their custody. We can't definitely to say that it's abuse yet, but we have to do something before it happens. I'm sorry for yelling at you. I knew that wasn't Mion's opinion, but it felt like she was telling me that, and I raised my voice. When I sensed her dismays, I quickly apologized. I explained to my contact what happened to Satoko last year, but last year's case was resolved by waiting it out too. Last year's abuse only stopped because of the fourth curse, right? It's not like the Child Consultation Center resolved it. Still, either way, both last year and now, the Child Consultation Center doesn't think her case warrants that much urgency. It seems our opponent this time is the difference in urgency between us and them. I see. We've done what we can. Now we need to come up with a plan B. We should have a meeting tomorrow with all the fearless members of our club. We've gone through worse than this before. We'll save her for sure. Yes. As we spoke, I felt less angry about the decision that the Child Consultation Center made. It was something we expected anyway. I was being emotional for a while, but Mion wasn't taking it personally. She's usually a tough person, but I know that she feels very weak when something like this happens. I have to be careful not to get too emotional with her. Our enemy was Teppei. I couldn't yell at my friends just because I was frustrated. I almost forget sometimes what Mion is a girl. There's no way yelling at her without cause wouldn't hurt her. I think I have a tendency to lash out with my emotions sometimes. I definitely need to rein in that bad habit, especially during emergencies like this. All I could do by myself was probably the same thing Shion was suggesting earlier, but I knew it wouldn't make Satoko happy. We club members are fearless, but the power I possess is the smallest among all of us. That's why I needed to communicate with them. We united, we would be able to come up with a better plan. I couldn't think of a plan all by myself. 3 heads are better than 1. We would definitely figure something out. I'm going to call Rika-chan now. Will you call Rena? Sure. Rena was a good match for Shion today. She impressed me a lot. She's tough when push comes to shove. Yeah, Rena is always reliable when we're in trouble. But you impressed me too, Kei-chan. You were kinda cool today, heh. I just kinda feel embarrassed now. That speech was a little corny, huh? I'm hanging up now. I'm sure Rena is waiting. Give her a call, okay? Yep. Say hi to Rika-chan. I think she's been hurt the most by all this. Rika-chan was looking at the ground with a depressed look on her face all day. My chest hurts. Hurt just remembering it. It must be even more painful to look at Satoko. Mion hung up the phone. I also hung up then called Rena. She picked up the phone after one ring, which surprised me. Hello, Rena? You were waiting for the call, huh? Yes. I called you, but it was busy, so I didn't know what to do. You called me when I was talking to Mion. She's calling Rika-chan now. She told me to call you. Let me explain to you what happened. Oh, okay. Is the case on hold? Yeah. Unfortunately. I'm really upset, but that's what we expected. I can guess what they said. It's only been a day, so there's nothing definite. She may have missed school because she really has a cold today. Plus, she doesn't have any obvious injuries, is my guess, right? Did you put a bug on my phone? Yeah, you got it exactly right. It's total bullshit. It's only been a day. It's such a horrible phrase, isn't it? Especially since it'll be too late after he really hurts her. If he really does, then Satoko's injuries will be plain for everyone to see. But if that happens, her uncle will never let any social workers see her. And then they'll just say they couldn't find any signs of abuse and go back to waiting again. Well, he'll just go to either hitting her places that don't leave obvious bruises, or doing things that, well, are worse than bruises, but aren't. It's such a huge contradiction, isn't it? Apparently they need court approval to force entry, but applying for that isn't easy. So while social workers may be supposed to have great legal power, in reality, their hands are tied and they can't act if the family turns them away. They're not the police. They're not the ones who storm in even if they have to break the windows to do so. Damn it, then who does have the right to break those windows? If we did, I'd smash them wide open. Anyway, they're not that serious about this case. They have no idea what will happen to Satoko if we don't do anything about it. Haha, I'm impressed. Wait, why? You just moved to the village not too long ago. You've only known her for just a few months, but you're so serious about saving her. You don't even know what happened to her last year. But you can imagine how hurt Satoko-chan is right now. If you were an ordinary person, I'm sure that you'd tell us. Just relax, it's only been a day. It's not that difficult to imagine how horrible it is for her. I also heard from you guys how terrible it was last year. It's no question that this case requires immediate attention. That's still impressive. You stopped Shi-chan when she tried to leave the classroom. What you said there was pretty deep. Do you think Satoko would appreciate it if you saved her by committing murder? It's not something an average boy would say. In fact, I'm sorry, but I thought you were going to say something like that. What Shi-chan suggested. That's our Rena. She saw right through me to the core. To be honest, I was able to keep my calm because Shion caused that commotion. I too thought our only option was to kill him. What's there to hesitate about? Everything would be resolved if we went over there and killed her uncle right away. I thought those same things myself. Higurashi. Links in description. And then I thought about how I would actually kill him. First I'd assault a metal bat or something. But before that I would scope out his house and dig the hole to bury his body in ahead of time. When I imagined, I envisioned myself actually digging the hole with a camping shovel in the woods. I repeated, "This is for Satoko. This is for Satoko," in my mind like a mantra, trying to forget the weight of the murder ahead. I relived that, exhaustion and frustration. I could very clearly imagine myself standing there, soaking with sweat and covered in mosquito bites. Then I'm sure I'd call her uncle or something to lure him out of the house and bludgeon him to death. Then I repeated my mantra, "This is for Satoko. This is for Satoko," blaming her for the serious crime as I tried to avoid my own guilt over committing murder. Did Satoko ask me to do that? Am I going to blame it all on her because I committed murder? Would she appreciate that? No, she wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to tell anyone that I had killed someone. No one would appreciate my deed, and I'd have to carry that burden for the rest of my life. That pathetic future is one I couldn't have imagined in the rush I felt before carrying out the murder. I decided to kill him so I could return us to happier times, but the act of murder also meant shattering the thin path that could lead us back there. I was able to imagine it that far ahead. That's why I didn't say it out loud like Shion did. If I hadn't thought that far, I probably would have joined Shion in shouting, "Kill him, kill him." Ha ha ha. It would have been really hopeless if you had done that. I'm glad. You have such a vivid imagination. I'm glad. Was that really just my imagination, though? Did I imagine killing your uncle in my mind? Could imagination alone really be that vivid? I could smell the earth and taste the scattered dirt flying into my mouth, see the pebbles scattered as I shoved my shovel down, and hear the roots cracking from its weight. The image was so real it felt more like I had actually done it in the past. That's right. It's important to imagine the consequences. Right. You don't want to grow up with no imagination. I think you'll grow up to be a calm, reasonable adult, Keiichi-kun. I wonder if that was only my imagination. I feel like I've been through a different life before. People with good imagination can take a look at every possibility. If you really felt like you saw the future, I think it wasn't just your imagination. You saw a possible future that could have happened. In that imaginary world, the Child Consultation Center put her case on hold too. Sato came back to school for a while, but she broke after only a few days. Satoko was bearing the abuse, but even something small would be enough to break her. Just like an old bowl that has a crack in it. One day that crack will eventually widen and the bowl will shatter. In my imaginary world, Satoko broke when I rubbed her head. She thought my hand was her uncle's hand. She pushed me away and hid behind the curtain and cried out for her brother, saying, "Nini, Nini." Who told you that she called her brother Nini? Huh? I don't know. I guess someone did. That's what she calls Satoshi, right? Anyway, it was devastating to hear her cry like that. I wanted to comfort her, but I couldn't even get close. She cried more as I walked closer to her because she thought I was her uncle. You're amazing, Keiichi-kun. I can't believe that was only your imagination. That's exactly how Satoko-chan was last year. I remember it clearly, but it's impressive how you can imagine it, since you've only been here for a few months. You really are amazing. So that explains why you feel the same urgency we do. So, you feel the same way I do? Yes. I can't imagine it as clearly as you have. But I think Satoko-chan will break in a few days if we don't do anything about this. I think she will hide behind the curtain and scream for her Nini. That's when we'll finally realize something. It's not a crime to be powerless. It's a crime to do nothing. Huh. It's only my imagination, but I'm crying as though it's happening right in front of me. Rena can also sense how urgently we need to save Satoko. Not everybody feels that way, though. My friends all do, but they're special. And normal people like those at the Child Consultation Center see us as overreacting. They have a point, though. We don't really have anything to say to back to them if they're going to claim it's only been one day. It's just like getting a cold. Doctors always say, let's see what happens for a couple days. Rena, I think we should trust our instincts. We have no time to spare. We have to save Satoko now, yes. Even if I can't come up with a good idea on our own, together we can accomplish anything. When I was down and depressed before, someone told me the same thing. I think now is the time to come together and show people what we can do. Yeah, I don't know who told you that, but that's exactly how I feel. It was strange. I've had this feeling ever since Rena told me the story at school. I feel like I too once learned a lesson after some event. But Rena and I only met recently. I guess it's just a coincidence. Anyway, I was so lonely inside my imagination. I thought it was stupid for them to only sit and think about how they could save Satoko, and I made a selfish decision. But I eventually learned, just like Rena did, you'll never come up with anything good by worrying about something on your own. You have to talk to your friends. That way, they will help you reach the best possible solution. You said something when you stood in Shi-chan's way today. You told her to trust you. You said you didn't have any idea yet, but that you would find one soon. I'm going to trust you. I believe that you will come up with the best solution. Don't just rely on me. You can give me ideas if you have any. How? That's not what I meant. I have faith in my friends at all times. I'm going to trust us. I know that we can save Satoko-chan. But we're not going to use a shortcut. That's right. We will save her from this mess. Keep on believing. I believe in us too. I will never think that I'm the only one who's trying to save her. I believe that all of us feel the same way. Let's have a meeting tomorrow, Chia, since we might have new information too. We may not be able to come up with a good idea right away, but she might have something. Yeah, you're right. I know that there's always another option. That's right. We're not going to give up. There is a better way. I'm sure there is. We may not find it right away, but we'll never give up. No, never. Mion praised her for that too. But Rena really is strong in a crisis. I got a little emotional when I was talking with Mion, but Rena is different. Her fire is quiet and blue, so at first glance it seems lesser than my bright red, roaring blaze, but the truth is the opposite. Blue flames burn far hotter. As I spoke with Rena, I felt my useless wild energy calm me down, so I could rationally search for the best solution. Through that, I felt Rena's strength, though apparently Rena felt similarly about me. When I'm talking with you, I feel like I can accomplish anything. You're so strong and reliable. I feel more courageous when I talk with you. I feel more confident that we can save Satoko-chan. I get calmness from you, and you get confidence from me. We balance each other out like that, huh? We're a good combination. Mi-chan has a lot of power as a member of the Sonozaki family, but she has a very frail heart. But I believe that you and I can support her. That's right. We have nothing to be scared of. Yeah, I agree. Talking to Rena made me feel very confident. If I can share that confidence with my friends, I'll never feel down and miserable ever again. I'm going to give my power to the other club members, so we can fight even harder. Rika-chan is really depressed right now. She lost her will to fight. But I'm sure she'll get that back once she sees us working hard. You're right. Once she gets her willpower back, nothing can stop us. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's talk about our plan and involve the principal too. We should get advice from as many people as we can. Let's find the best possible solution. That's the best thing we can do right now. Yeah. I got off the phone with Rena. That was a pretty passionate conversation we were having. It's unfortunate the Child Consultation Center came to the conclusion they did, but if they could still decide to wait and see, then that proved that Satoko was still safe for now. We are no more than children. Worrying about it too much won't cause us to come up with any good ideas. Murder isn't a real solution. But I had to admit it. I thought about it once. It's easy to burn up in rage. However, I'd have to stay calm like Rena. She was still burning up very calmly with a blue and quiet flame. I'd never seen anything like that before. Keiichi, go take a bath already. Hurry up. I heard my mom speaking to me. You can go ahead of me, Mom. I need more time to think about what to do with Satoko. Everyone else is probably doing the same. You should go first. There's bath salt from the real hot springs in there. It feels really good on your skin. I don't think there's bath salt in real hot springs. Ah ha ha. Milk tastes so good after a bath. My dad seemed to be in a good mood. He'd probably finish his work. He's as scary as a bear when he has his artist block. Maybe we should talk to our parents about all this. Maybe. Maybe my parents could help with an idea. They're the closest adults to me, after all. Should I talk to them? Yes. Stupid question. I had no reason not to. Thinking about higurashi right now. I'd have to talk to them and seek some advice. Dad, I have something I want to talk to you about. Huh? What's this? Is it about the auction at the coming festival? You have my full support. Speaking of which, when is the next festival committee meeting? They called me to participate too. I'll have to mark my calendar. Oh, it's not about that. My classmate is in trouble. As I talked about Satoko, my mom joined us and listened as well. My dad is a strange artist, but my mom is a normal person with common sense. She might be able to help. I just got a call and found out that they put her case on hold. We're wondering what we should do now. They already called the Child Consultation Center, so you should let them take care of it. But she was being abused last year too, right? I don't know about how bad it was, but I think it's wrong for him to force her to move out of her friend's place. He was neglecting her for a year after all. We can't just wait and see what happens just because the consultation center said to. We're her friends, so we want to be more aggressive about saving her, but we have no idea how we can do that. Keiichi, don't even think about attacking him. Actually, we're thinking about murder. Attack was just the first step. Murder is just, attacking him with persistence until there's no reason left to attack him. I'm not. I wouldn't talk to you guys if that was on my mind. That's true. I thought you might ask us how to commit a perfect crime. Hey, I would never ask my parents something like that. Again, higurashi. I think. Keiichi, you're right. There are many battles in this world, but it's always important that you follow the rules. People won't help you if you're going to break them, and they won't respect you either. You have to fight according to the rules. Are there even rules for battles? Well, anyway. Do you have any ideas? My parents have been alive for more than twice as long as me. They must have had some experience with things like this. They must have many good ideas. At least, that's what I thought. But they crossed their arms and went silent. Calling the Child Consultation Center is the first thing you should do. But what do you do if that doesn't work? Do you think we can even rely on the law? Do you think the police won't do anything until Satoko is seriously injured? I think you have to make an appeal. Appeal? What, you mean sue him? That's not it. The Child Consultation Center is supposed to take care of the child abuse cases. But if you're unsatisfied with the decision they make an appeal to the court. Keiichi, you go to the court when you can't resolve an issue with the person you're dealing with. It's the final place you go. You want the Child Consultation Center to protect Satoko-chan, right? But they made a decision that you disagree with. And we need to make an appeal to the Child Consultation Center. If we're unsatisfied with the decision they made, we can simply go and tell them that. We need to go there and explain to them how serious this case is. Yeah, that sounds good. They have no idea what situation Satoko-chan is in right now. Since they're misunderstanding what's going on, we have to go there and make it clear. I see, that's the best approach. I don't know about that. I've heard that they never change their decisions once made. It might just be a waste of time. We don't know that until we try. Giving up before even trying is what losers do. We have to try everything we can. Remember what the principal said. We'll fail if we give up before even trying. Shion, your fire is blazing bright red, ready to do whatever it takes, even if that's acting hasty, to save Satoko. But truly hot fire is blue and calm. Don't give up. We should do everything we can. What do you think, Chie-sensei? Am I wrong? No. You're not saying anything wrong. You've calmed down a lot. I was concerned for you because I thought you might come up with an idea to attack him in the dark. That's what my mom was saying. Is that how people perceive me? I thought we should wait and see what happens. But after hearing everything all of you have said, and thinking about what happened last year, I now understand that this is an emergency situation. People can change their minds if you're persuasive enough. The Child Consultation Center might change their mind too. They might reverse their decision if you succeed in making an appeal. What do you think? Shi-chan, you should fight with us rather than thinking about it alone. I'm not feeling lonely. I'm not sad because I'm all alone. You do sound awfully sad, actually. Maybe you do want to join us. Whatever. Fine then. Let's just go to the Child Consultation Center. I'm going to punch them in their faces if they don't do something. That's not a good idea, but I feel your passion now. I guess you calmed down after getting some sleep. I'm just serious about this, is all. Heh. Anyway, let's go and make it happen. I know where the Child Consultation Center is. Oh, this old man didn't know until recently, but it's on the first floor of the library. Mion grinned and showed us the location on a city guidebook. She's really prepared for this. The office is open until 5:15. Don't try and pick a fight with them. We have to stay calm. What? Are you talking to me, sis? Who do you think I am? I'll cry if I have to. Our goal is to make them change their mind. That's it, Chi-chan. I think we can make it if we leave right now. It was past 3 o'clock. We'd make it before they closed if we rushed there on our bikes. But they're strict about time, aren't they? They might kick us out as soon as it's time to close. Was Satoko even here today? This would make 2 days of her not being here. Is Teppei waiting for the bruises he already gave her to go away before he starts sending her to school? Again, he can still give her new bruises, just in places that no one can actually normally see. Or do things that are worse than giving someone a bruise, but, don't actually leave a physical mark. The store will close on time. At least nowhere obvious. But once we're inside, they'll never kick us out. Listen, make sure you don't give in when negotiating with these officials. Officials are surprisingly tough, but unlike private citizens, they're not allowed to end the discussion on their own. So when you feel like you can't get anywhere by continuing the discussion, don't give in. You have to dig deep and make sure they listen to everything we have to say. How do you know all that, Mi-chan? Hehehe. Who do you think I am? I represent Oryu Sonozaki, member of the Mayor's Social Gathering, and the Local Government Monitoring Committee. I speak to the government officials all the time. Hey, Mion, is it possible to save her by using the influence of the Sonozaki family? Well, not if I have to go through Granny. It's impossible to get help from her. Her mind is still stuck in the damn conflict. 100 million with one spirit and stuff like that. She hates the Hojo family to this day. You're talking about Satoko's parents who worked for the dam project? I've never met your grandma, but she needs to learn how to forgive. It's a thing of the past now. Exactly. I agree with you, Kei-chan. So the Sonozaki family can't do anything about it? Yeah, we can't. I'm sorry, old people are so stubborn. They cherish Rika-chan, but they don't care about Satoko. That's horrible. I can't forgive Satoko's uncle for aggressively abusing her. But I'm not about to forgive other people for quietly abusing her other. Okay, again, one. Not only did Satoko miss another day, but did Rika come today? Is Rika sitting in the corner depressed? Did Rika kill herself? Because that is something Rika's been considering doing. She's only been concerned about the whole prestige system, though. In the words of Perfect Cell, multiverse theory's a bitch. Tell those people not to piss off Keiichi Mabura. Haha, I'll do that. Shall we go now? We have no time to waste. Alright, we better hurry. Let's get going. Do you want to come with us, Rika-chan? Let's go. Rena spoke to Rika-chan, who had been avoiding all conversation. She seemed to have given up all hope yesterday. It was so painful to see her so depressed. It's just a waste of time anyway. You have to stop saying anyway. You don't know if it's a waste of time or not unless you try. You people did everything you could in your previous lives, but you never found a way to save her. You think this time will be any different? Sometimes I really have no idea what she was saying. All I could tell is that she was being negative about the situation. Have you tried going to the Child Consultation Center already? Then we should try. Satoko-chan is important to you, isn't she? We have to try and see what happens. I'm sure Satoko-chan needs your help right now. This world is going to end soon anyway. What's wrong? We have to hurry up. Rika-chama doesn't seem to be interested. So much for friends. She's so close to Satoko, but she won't even get off her butt to save her. I never thought I'd hear you say something like that. You used to hate her so much. Hee hee? What? Is your brain working alright? Why would I hate Satoko? Never mind. Fine, I'll come with you people. I have nothing to do at home but drink until I pass out anyway. You're pissing me off. Are you trying to make a fool out of me? Stop it, Chi-chan. We're on time limit. You stop it too, Rika-chan. Let's get together and save Satoko-chan. I'm sure we can make a miracle happen if we work together. But we need everyone to come together. We can't leave any one of us behind. We need you too, Rika-chan. Something that Rena said must have given Rika-chan motivation. I could see a slight sparkle in her eyes. Rena had said something interesting. She said that we could make a miracle happen. It's the same thing I said when this world began. At that time, I said I could make a miracle happen, but I didn't say how. But Rena just clearly stated that. We can make a miracle happen if we work together. Yes, miracles can happen when we work together. And what if there's no miracle? That means we haven't tried hard enough. If we all do the best we can, a miracle will happen for sure. That's true. Ryugu-san is right. People get stronger when they help each other. You can overcome any obstacle when everyone works together. Yep, Hinamizawa was fated to be submerged underwater, but 2,000 people got together and brought an end to that destiny. Bring an end to destiny? As villagers of Hinamizawa, we all know that miracles do happen. We'll win if we work hard together. I think you have no choice but to come with us now, Rika-chama. If you don't come, a miracle won't occur. Your absence will prevent it from happening. So it's going to be my fault? That's interesting. A miracle is something that we can make happen. But we need everyone's power to make that come true. Destiny can be defeated. Fate can be escaped from. This can happen with a miracle. A miracle can happen if we unite. Rena told me yesterday, you'll never come up with a solution if you think about everything by yourself. We have to talk this out together. Don't let fate get the better of you. It's as fragile as a thin sheet of paper. How can you say that without knowing how stubborn fate can be? To me, a witch trapped within fate. But for some reason, his words sounded very persuasive. He easily changed my fate to play the fishing game. In my previous life, Keiichi saved Rena from her devastating fate. As fragile as a thin sheet of paper. He's saying that the world I've been struggling in for 100 years is that easy to change. Hee hee hee. Keiichi had made a fool out of me. Interesting. I'll go with you. That's more like you, Rika-chan. Ow. Rika, are you sure? Han, you looked at me with concern. She wanted to warn me that I'll get hurt if I expect too much. I don't have any coins left to bet. I don't have anything left to lose. This world is ending soon anyway, but it's the way it was the same in my previous life. I thought all was lost when Renan took over the school. But Keiichi turned everything around. He's saying that fate is as fragile as a thin sheet of paper. I've given up on this world anyway, but I'm interested. Fate will betray you anyway. I'll get hurt as I see it happen to you. Don't worry. I'm not going to get depressed anymore. I have no tears left to shed. I know that they can't save Satoko, no matter what happens. That's why I'm doing this. It's the first time we've ever gone to the Child Consultation Center. Keiichi can't make any miracles happen. Hanyu spoke to me in a stern voice. Miracles are called miracles because they don't happen easily. If it can happen at any time, it's not a miracle. It's just something that was meant to be. I'm not expecting anything. I'm just interested. I'm curious how Kiichi is going to make this move after saying how easily he can change fate. Rika, please don't hurt yourself anymore. That's none of your business. Get out of here. I wasn't expecting anything. I was just trying to enjoy my last week alive, like watching a TV show. But I had to admit I was possessed by a strange feeling. It was a little bit exhilarating. I was nervous, as if anticipating something. I had felt the same way when Kiichi remembered my memories, the memories of the past in my previous life. I didn't have any coins left to make a bet, but I knew what this feeling meant. If I had a coin left in my heart, I would bet everything on this feeling. If it doesn't work out after trying every option, we'll have no choice but to give up. There's no need for us to give up. Satoko is going to be saved. You had better prepare a clean blanket for Satoko. She's coming back to you soon. And I'd feel bad if she didn't have a soft bed waiting for her. Hee ah, I like that, Kiichi. Well then, let's go. You might tear apart fate like a thin sheet of paper after all. Yeah, right now I feel like I could take on the ruler of hell. I'm going to make them change their decision. I stood up from my seat. Kiichi's a very good speaker. That's why I never get bored with him. I've been with him for over 100 years, but he still keeps me entertained. We're going to the Child Consultation Center now. Do you want to come with us, Chie-sensei? I'm going to talk with the Board of Education. Then under the same branch of the government's Child Consultation Center. It might help if I talk to them. After all, I'm working for the public too. That's true. They might listen to what you say. Let's have her take care of that while we take care of our business. Let's fight them. Alright, let's go everybody. Yeah! Even knowing that everything is doomed, part of me felt like something good might happen. Hanyu told me that it was only a waste of time. I felt the same way until a few minutes ago, but I had become much more interested. I had no idea what would happen. I wanted to see how Kiichi was planning to defeat this destiny. I raised my fist in the air along with them, and hurried to the exit. As for Satoko, she didn't come to school again today. Teppei called the school and told them that she still has a fever. He said that he's going to keep her home a few days until she gets better. Chie said that she thinks Teppei knows she called the Child Consultation Center. He must be worried that Satoko rat him out if he lets her go to school. I don't want to think about it, but it's possible that Satoko has visible bruises by now. That could also be why he won't let her go to school. Everything was happening much earlier. Satoko's situation was worsening earlier than it did in my previous lives. How long are they going to make us wait? Those people seem to be free. They should let us talk to them. Those are just general office workers. We have to talk to the actual social worker responsible for the case. I wonder if they're busy because they have a lot of cases like this. I don't know. I wish they didn't have so many issues to deal with. This world is tragic. So many kids are being abused. After 30 minutes, they finally called my name. I wrote down my name at the registration as Mion. Can't let them know that she's from the Sonozaki family. I'm Mabra, my name was called. I went to the receptionist to find a uniformed older lady. She must be one of the office workers, Mion mentioned. Was she really going to be the one dealing with us? Hello, Mabra-san. I see you're here with 4 other friends. How can I help you today? The only thing I wrote on the registration was that I wanted to talk about Satoko Hojo. Well, we're here to talk about Satoko Hojo's case. Chie-sensei from the Hinamizawa branch school called and made a report yesterday. We would like to discuss the case. Are you her friends? Yes. We're her classmates. Would you please give me a general summary of what you wish to discuss? I heard that you guys put a hold on it because you determined that there wasn't any abuse happening. So we've come here in order to explain Sato's situation in more detail. I see. Please wait a few more minutes. That was it from her then. A real social worker should be coming here to talk with us. She was just asking us basic information. With that done, she was talking on the phone and explaining to someone what I just told her. What did she ask? She asked me why I was here. She told me to wait for a few more minutes. I hate waiting like this. Are those posters and advertisements you've been reading that interesting me? I see lots of flyers about abuse. I guess we came to the right place. Report the abuse before it escalates. Check out that slogan. Check it out. There's a bunch of posters with the slogan. Like that in here. I guess that's what the Child Consultation Center is for. Is it any help if it's inside the building, though? Rika-chan was right. They should be posting them all over the city, not just inside the building. Mabara-sama, thank you for waiting. Please go to room number 2. It's our turn now. Let's go. As we walked, we soon saw rooms numbered 1 through 3. I thought we were going to be talking at the counter like you do at the bank, but they have individual rooms. I guess it's for privacy reasons. Most of the people come here don't want to want other people listening to the conversation. Plus, most people tend to feel anxious talking about personal things in front of people. So, that's the best way to get the most information out of people, on both sides. But I think abuse might be increasing because people try to keep the issue quiet. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. I think it actually helps more than hurts having the rooms. People tend not to talk about their family issues. Room number 2. It's this one. As I knocked, I heard the voice of a lady telling me to come in. Hello. It was a very small room. Well, I should say it was narrow. It wasn't wide, but it was very long. There was a counter in the middle, which split the room in 2. The lady was sitting on the other side of the counter. She told us to take a seat, but there were only 2 chairs. I sat down since we registered under my name. Mion wouldn't sit because she felt that the Sonozaki sisters shouldn't be in the front. Rena tried to offer the seat to Rika-chan, but she refused to, so Rena ended up taking it. It was such a tiny room that it was better for us to take a seat. It was very cramped with the 5 of us. I'm sorry. We usually expect to see the parents, so we only have 2 chairs. I understand that. So, how may I help you today? Should I do the talking? Well, we're students from the Hinamizawa branch school, and we're Satoko Hojo's friends. The school reported that she was being abused at the Child Consultation Center, and I believe that a social worker went to her house last night. We heard that you put a hold on her case. We're here today so we can explain to you how urgent the matter is. Mion nodded. It seemed like I was doing okay so far. What are you trying to explain to us? Will you please tell me? Well, I know it's only been 2 days since her uncle took her away, but it's only a matter of time before he starts hurting her. In fact, Satoko suffered terrible abuse at the hands of her uncle last year as well. We believe it is only a matter of time before that happens again. So we would like for you to save Satoko from her uncle before it does. But, from what we understand, the Child Consultation Center has decided to wait and see, right? Are you going to neglect her? I can't believe that you left her there just because she's not getting physically abused. I mean, I've heard child consultation centers, at least in my part of the world, say that it's not abuse as long as the person doesn't have a broken bone. So, I'm just going to say that's depressing. Who is going to be responsible when she really gets hurt? Shion probably didn't like how politely I was speaking to her. She was already flaring up with rage at the social worker. It looked like Mion didn't want her to tear into her. However, she let Shion finish, and she'd get even more furious if we tried to stop her. The lady seemed to be used to people losing their temper, and she continued without reacting to Shion's outburst. I would like to make it clear that we are still working on the case. The results are still pending. We are not abandoning or neglecting her. Working on her case, they're not abandoning her. They're currently reviewing options, I suppose. While their mature phrasing made me start to think it might be rude and harsh to say they were abandoning her, Rena quietly opened her mouth. But you left her there without doing anything last night. No one can ever fool Rena. Taking their time to review options was the exact same thing as abandoning her. The fact is, they left her in that house without taking any actions to prevent her from being abused. We sent a social worker to her house, and they met with her guardian. We cannot talk about the case any further for privacy reasons. However, we are not neglecting her. We are going to look after her and her father so they can have a healthy life together. Excuse me? Excuse me? He's not her father. He's her uncle. Are you sure you really did an investigation? Excuse me. You're correct. They're uncle and niece. Anyway, we'll be directing them so guardian and child can form a healthy relationship. Shion had pounced on her mistake immediately. I didn't think she needed to be so snappy, but at this point I was starting to understand how different their sense of urgency was from ours. Well, excuse me, but Satoko was living a happy life before. By the way, does anyone not care about the criminal record of Teppei? You know, the man was a heavy drinker, involved in assaults, violence, mafia, previous history of abuse to children and women, crime, theft, extortion, fraud. Without any support from her uncle. First of all, her uncle disappeared from her life for a full year prior, and now he's returned and kidnapped her away. Isn't that a crime? It wasn't a kidnapping. It's the law that a child must live where their guardian appoints them to live. According to Article 821 of the Constitution, the legal guardian of a child is... He neglected Satoko for 1 year. How can he still be considered her guardian? Shion? That's what the court decided when her parents died of the curse of Oyoshiro-sama. I mean, we could have just left it at died, or, died of falling off of a railing by a cliff. Are you serious? That guy is her legal guardian? Yes. I don't know how the specific article of the law it's written in, but minors must abide by their guardians. In other words, every child has a guardian. They have to have one. That's Article 818 of the Civil Code. When Satoko's parents died, her uncle and aunt automatically became her guardians? Yes, the closest relative gets custody. It seems her aunt and uncle were Satoko's only relatives. If Satoko and Satoshi refused them, they could have had a different guardian, though. But they were the children of the Hojo family, the enemy in the dam conflict. No one was going to take care of them. They were different from Rika-chama. Lots of people wanted to be her guardian, but Father Kimiyoshi got custody of her. I knew that the Hojo family was in favor of the dam project, and the whole village hated her family for that reason. But I thought everything was over after they canceled the project and Satoko's parents died. Was I aware of the difference? The difference between how the villagers treat Satoko and how they treat Rika-chan? The villagers don't abuse Satoko like her uncle, but maybe there were small thorns left in the village, and they were stinging Satoko occasionally. I can't say this too openly, but Satoko's family had more assets than her uncle, and by becoming her guardian, they gained control over those assets. Satoko's home. Do you know where they used to live? It was this ridiculously tiny place. That's horrible. But this guardian neglected Satoko-chan for over a year, right? Can he still claim custody of her? Can't he? Well, in Part 4, Chapter... I don't know why it bothers me to have the Roman numerals followed by the... Oh, Simcoe, there are provisions for the loss of custody. The lady opened a thick book on the counter and showed us that page. Here's the thing. Keiichi. Maybe our parents will take custody of her. We just have to talk to them about it and talk to these evil. I didn't completely understand what it says in there, but it seemed that a parent can lose custody when they're being irresponsible. So the law can take away the right to be someone's guardian. Wait a minute, it says something about court. Let me see. At the behest of the child's relatives or a public prosecutor, the family court may make a ruling for the loss of parental authority. What the heck is this? So we'd have to sit around and wait for a family court ruling before we can lose custody? That's too slow. Well, if something urgent happens, we can temporarily protect her under our custody. We will also need approval of the family court in that case. Here, Article 834 from the loss of parental authority. Doesn't this apply to Tepehojo? It is the fact that the guardian Tepehojo abandoned his responsibilities as a guardian for over a year. What is the Center's opinion on that? I can't answer for privacy reasons, but the Center requests an explanation on that matter as well. And you accepted his explanation, so you decided to wait and see. Like I've mentioned, we are currently working on this case. The safety of the child is our #1 priority, and we make sure that she will have a healthy lifestyle in a safe environment. We weren't on the same page at all. They just weren't understanding the urgency. I've never met this Tepe guy. I only know about the situation based on what my friends told me about last year, and what Chie told us, but I still understood very well. I understood that something really bad was going to happen if we didn't take any action right now. She was being abused by her uncle and her aunt last year, too. Are you sure the same uncle can take care of her? You still have the records from last year, don't you? I can't discuss her past record with you for privacy reasons, but we are taking everything into consideration. She didn't come to school yesterday, and she didn't come today either. He called the school and told them that she has a cold, but don't you think it's a bit odd that she hasn't come to school since he showed up? That's true, but then she really might be sick. I think we should keep our eyes on her and see what happens. We just know that Satoko doesn't want to be with her uncle. Her uncle is forcing her to stay with him. Our social worker spoke with the child and made their decision after doing so. So that's it, isn't it? Are you not taking this case seriously because she made a false report long ago? I cannot talk about that for privacy reasons. We're taking everything into consideration. Satoko is telling you that she's not being abused because she feels guilty about her brother Satoshi. She may have told you that she's not being abused, but I don't believe that statement. Do you know that people can lose the will to seek help when they have depression? Isn't that one of the symptoms of depression? Ugh. Stop making excuses and hurry up and save Satoko. I'm not going to forgive you people if something happens to her. You'll end up hurt if you don't do something about this while I'm still asking politely. Stop it, Shion. You're making us look bad. I don't know what her uncle said to the social worker, but he's a violent guy. Please don't be fooled by him. I just want to make that clear. So please, speak with her social worker and persuade them to make the call to save Satoko at once. We ask that you do this for us. Some of us were getting emotional, but Mion calmed them down and Rena summed it up nicely. I stopped speaking to see what she was going to say next. You mean her caseworker? I understand your concerns. I will tell them that Satoko-san's friends, 5 of her friends came here and made an appeal to us. We will continue to work closely on this case, so please let us know when you have further information. Thank you for supporting the Child Consultation Center, and thank you very much for sharing your valuable time with us today. We were still in Okonomiya. We were in the city park, devoid of playing children, staring vacantly up at the madder-red sky and silent. I feel like they didn't really listen to our story. But they also didn't try to kick us out. She's probably just a person who deals with complaints, not the actual social worker that deals with Satoko-chan. That's why she was phrasing everything the way she did. What did you think about the whole thing, Mion? Well, it felt like we were wrestling with a tree. We didn't get pushed or pulled. It was the same as talking to a wall. That's not true. She said they will forward our information to the social worker. Like I said, she doesn't know Satoko-chan in person, so she didn't really have any stake in it herself. So you think we accomplished something today, Rena? I don't think it was a waste of time. But I don't think our passion will be understood by the actual person who is working on the case. She'll just tell them that Satokojo's 5 friends came and requested for them take her under their custody. What about the social worker? Can't we just talk to that person directly? I don't know. I heard it's a very tough job. I think it'd be difficult for us to meet him or her in person. Someone even threatened to hurt them if they didn't do anything while she was still asking them politely. According to Mion, there are lots of problematic clients who show up at the Child Consultation Center. It's not rare for them to get an aggressive visitor like Shion. It's so difficult to tell them how passionate we are. They might treat us coldly if they took our passion for simple anger. I thought you were used to talking with government officials, Mion. Can't you talk to them instead of me? It's not that she's good at talking. They just listen to her because she's a Mion Sonozaki. You saw how they treated us today. If she announced herself as a Sonozaki, we wouldn't have been in such a small room. We would have been speaking to the manager in a reception room, right? Mion gave a vague smile and didn't comment. Mion's greatest weapon is her family name. Without that weapon, she's just as ordinary as the rest of us. I shouldn't be thinking about this, but if the Sonozaki family forgave Satoko's family, it would be really easy for them to save her. Okay, Mion, here's additional solutions. Maybe my parents could take custody of, Satoko? Or if need be, since your family's such a big person on the whole nail-ripping thing, how about this? I ask for forgiveness for Satoko, Hojo, and all that stuff to your grandma. I'll even remove 3 of my fingernails to do it. Though afterward, I'm probably going to actually start drinking alcohol. Because that'll probably hurt a lot. And I'll cry like a bitch. Like, here's the thing. Like, I'll do it. I'll do the thing to save Satoko, but I'll say this. At no point am I saying I'm going to do it without crying. I am going to cry like a bitch. So, the Sonozaki family still hates the Hojo family. No one has publicly stated that we hate them, but it runs pretty deep. That hag of a grandmother is the one who hates the Hojo family. Her opinion hasn't changed since we were in the middle of the damn conflict. It's been so many years, but she still can't let go of the past. Stop it, Shi-chan. Satoko-chan is Satoko-chan. She's our precious friend. It doesn't matter what her last name is. Shion went quiet, and there was silence for a while. Rena was right. Just like how Satoko's last name doesn't matter, it doesn't matter what Mion's last name is either. The important thing is that our friend is being abused right now. We'd have to do everything we can to save her from that situation. We all looked up at the sky as we listened to the sound of cars passing by. We all felt helpless. We had no idea what to do. Was what we did today going to help Satoko after all? It would have been better if they just kicked us out. That way we could have been angry with them. But after being treated politely like that, we had no choice but to back off and see what they were going to do. We were forced to just wait and see what happens. Everyone was trying to figure out what our next option was. I couldn't expect Chie-sensei to tell us that everything was taken care of at the Board of Education. That would be too good to be true. What shall we do next? I muttered to myself, hoping that someone would respond with a good idea, but the silence reminded me that everyone was just as stuck as me. Keiichi? Rika-chan. Rika-chan? I'm sorry. I was running my mouth off, but I have no idea what to do now. I don't believe this. What? As I looked at her, I realized that the expression on her face was stronger than ever. You told Shion yesterday you didn't have a good idea at the moment, but you said you would figure out something. You told her to trust you. So I trusted you. I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to believe that you would even mention that you had no idea. I'm not going to believe that. I could see tears in her eyes. Rika-chan was sure that I could do something about the situation. You said it. You said that fate is as fragile as a thin piece of paper. I'm going to believe your words. I still believe you because you can easily defeat fate. So, please help. Help us. Escape from this fate. Help Satoko. Help her. A tear rolled down the corner of her eye. My heart was feeling the same way. Damn it, damn it, damn it. An innocent girl was becoming a prisoner of a tragic fate. She desperately needed help. I told them that they could trust me. In other words, that they could count on me. That they could bet on me. Betting is not an easy thing. If I lost, they'd lose their coins too. What does it mean to trust someone? It's about making a bet on that person. It's about betting a coin. It's about betting hope. Trusting someone is tantamount to placing your hopes in them. I told Shion yesterday I told her to trust me. I didn't say it just because. I knew that those words were meant something very serious. But now after betraying Rika-chan and seeing her tears, I finally realized just how serious it is. I look at Shion. She was in a rage again. Mion tried to calm her down, but she didn't have any ideas either. How about Rena? She always is very reliable in a situation like this. I expected to see her strength. However, Rena also looked depressed. We didn't even know if what we did was a meaningful thing. Rena looked down with a devastated expression on her face, since she couldn't come up with another option either. Damn it, I have to do something for them. Rena's blue fire will melt iron. Mion can be strong when the wind is in our favor. Shion is the same way. They will move forward strongly when the wind is backing them up, but they grow weak when the wind is blowing against them. Despite the whole situation, Rika-chan still believes in us. She believes that we can do something if we all come together. That's right, we all agreed. We said to each other that we could make a miracle happen if we all worked together. What am I? What am I? If Rena is the blue fire, I'm the red fire. I burn brightly to give strength to everyone. That's right, I'm Keiichi Mabura. I'm the magician of words. I have to motivate everyone. The blue fire won't light up unless the red fire does too. When the fire is lit, there will be wind. And Mion and Shion will become stronger too. Thank you. You just made me realize something, Rika-chan. Now the flames inside me are really starting to blaze. Keiichi? We can't give up now. We're members of the strongest club ever. Nothing can stop us when we get together. I can't become depressed over a small thing like this. Rika-chan woke me up. I just realized how serious it is to have people trust in me. Rika-chan knew our personalities well, and she figured out just who she should motivate first. Whoa, I'm really starting to burn up. Hey, Mion, stop being depressed. This is where we're supposed to get angry, man. Everyone looked at me with wide eyes. They turned at my powerful voice. They were both surprised by my sudden shout and waiting in anticipation of the vigor of my call. More and more clearly I could see it. This was Keiichi Mabura's role in this club. I don't think we did anything at the Child Consultation Center. Just like Ryan was saying, they're just going forward a small note saying that the five of us made a visitation. But being treated like that has lit the fire of our anger. Yeah, you're right, it feels like they gave us the cold shoulder. We were trying to get them to realize how much danger Satoko's in. We have to fight now. We have no time to be sitting around all depressed at the park. But Keiichi-kun, what are we supposed to do next? Heh. Don't tell me that you think we have no more options left. If this was a club activity, you guys would be losing right now. Heh. This is fun. I was feeling depressed too, but now I've got a burning passion in my heart. I felt like I was cheering myself up. Why was I being so sad? If I wanted to save Satoko, I had no time to rest. This was the final seconds of the last round in a boxing match, where we were at a disadvantage. If I stand here stupefied, I'll lose by indecision, so the only option left is to press the attack. Was I supposed to give up just because I couldn't knock out the opponent with one punch? No. If I couldn't take him out in one, I'd have to throw 2 or 3 punches. I'd have to try until I could finally knock him out. You're saying that we're going to go there tomorrow? Close, but not exactly. Heh. I have no idea what's on your mind, heh. But it sounds very interesting. It isn't like our club to cry ourselves to sleep. We need to turn this headwind around. Yes, Mion is getting her willpower back too. That's right, I agree with Keiichi-kun. I'm ashamed that I was so depressed. Let's fight. But what exactly are you trying to do, heh? Remember everyone, that lady really pissed us off today, but she also told us what our next option is. She never thought she was giving us a hint. She made a huge mistake. On top of that, the next option is something that I'm really good at. Receptionist note, the bank book frustration. Fire burning deep within. Without the passion of his heart, she'll never be saved. Receptionist note. Number, date, year. Subject, about Satoko Hojo-san. Visitor, Keiichi Mabura and 4 other friends. They are requesting protection for Satoko Hojo-san. Save her from being abused by her uncle. Already being dealt with. I'm cleaning out our refrigerator, so please remove your personal belongings for this evening. Wow! The question mark statement. I have my own question marks. Teppei suspected that Satoko was hiding more money somewhere. But in reality, she had none at all. Teppei had asked her how she survived until now, but she told him that she didn't have to use any money because she was living with her friend. Teppei had made some money off of illegal gambling. While he had some of that money saved up, he had no intention to use it on living expenses. However, there was no way Satoko didn't have the money. Teppei was convinced of that. Teppei's wife, Satoko's aunt, must have taken away the family bank book when Satoko's parents died in the accident. But her aunt also died last year, and Satoshi is gone too. That means Satoko should have hidden the bank book somewhere. However, no matter how much he threatened her, she told him that she didn't know anything about it. He continued to question Satoko, still believing that she was hiding it somewhere. He couldn't beat her because her teacher and the Child Consultation Center would suspect him. So he wouldn't beat her. Instead, he spoke to her in a loud and violent voice and broke furniture in front of her. Threatening people like that is a Teppei's forte. However, Sato continued to claim that she had no clue about the bank book. She didn't seem to be lying. After destroying the whole living room, leaving Satoko frightened like a scared little animal, Teppei finally believed that Satoko had no idea where the bank book was. In that case, where could it be? Teppei had two ideas. One idea was that his wife hid it somewhere in secret. The other idea was that Satoshi took it after his wife's death and hid it somewhere else. Either way, he was certain that it was hidden somewhere in this house. He told Sato to clean up the mess he made in the living room and started searching around the house. Teppei was starting to get bored with Satoko. He'd heard that Satoko's parents had a lot of money saved up, but his wife had taken control of that money herself. Since his wife had been quite thrifty, he was sure that she'd left the bank book somewhere without using it. Once he got his hands on that money, he could move somewhere else entirely. Teppei was still acquainted with a few people from the gambling spot in Gogura. People he used to help out are still hanging around that area. They still owe him. They should at least let him crash there. It was great that Satoko took care of all the chores around the house, but Teppei felt uncomfortable about being watched by both the school and the consultation center. Also, the police are watching the house too. And the Sonosakis. Teppei, all too aware that he's a man of violence, couldn't stand living with Satoko without being violent towards her. The more he suffered, the stronger his urge to beat up Satoko grew. Since Teppei only knew joy through forcing others who resisted to submit, testing to see how violent he could be before the helpless Satoko resisted him was something he was excited to try eventually. Still upset over the visitation by the school's teacher, Teppei promised himself that he would destroy Satoko's life before leaving the village. You know, it's times like this that I'm glad that this is more of a sound novel and not a visual novel. And people are like, what's the difference? The difference is probably rating. Probably the rating system. Not only would it require a bigger budget and you'd have to draw a lot more and possibly animate things, but there'd be a lot of scenes where there'd be a lot of violence occurring. And well, this was... And I know there's mods out there that add extra, animations and graphics from like the anime and of course, while this is a graphic story, it avoids talking too deeply about certain subjects, and it basically acts like Gumball's The Adventures of Gumball. Is that the full title? There's like a fish. Darwin? I think it's called The Adventures of Gumball and Darwin. But like, there's a lot of times that there are adult jokes. And everyone's like, we can't see you doing the air quotes thing. Yeah, I did a little bunny ears thing on my hand when I said that. But like, there's lots of adult jokes that, the people that... Because you have to have a certain rating system for a cartoon show. And obviously the people that the rating system is aimed at, the adult jokes they're not going to get. However, the word joke is something comedic. And, well, there's more than just adult jokes. There's adult... Well, if joke is the word for something comedic, then an entendre or euphemism for extreme violence or sexual assault or abuse, I don't know what the appropriate word is in that situation. But I'm just saying, if this game had a higher budget and had animations and, well, didn't beat around the bush and actually, didn't have to worry about a rating system and actually was being very blunt and very, very forthright and very, well, not vague and just being very clear and showing what was happening, this is the moment where we'd start to have a animation and pictures and graphic descriptions of Teppei Hojo raping and molesting Satoko. But that would be a big issue with the rating system. Heck, the game would probably even get pulled off of Steam. Now, granted, there are lots of games that do depict a lot of things. There's a lot of games that are very, very, very violent. And I do appreciate that this game, well, handles this in a tasteful way by not being explicit and by not, well, literally showing it. But at the same time, any amount of common sense or critical thinking when it comes to literature skills, you know what's happening. It's just, one, it would be very tasteless to show it or talk about it explicitly. And two, well, it would perhaps be a bit too much for some people to handle. I mean, as is, this might be a bit much for some people as is. But at the same time, I don't like the idea of censorship or toning things down. But at the same time, there is such a thing as being tasteful. And main point is this. We all know what's happening. We all know what is being said. It's kind of like, again, like I said, the adult jokes in, like, The Adventures of Gumball or Adventure Time. You know what's being referenced. You know what is being hinted at in such a strong way that anybody that knows what's being talked about knows. But it's said in a way that if there's people that are not familiar with such mature content, then it'll just fly over their heads and they won't get the air quotes joke. That being said, anybody who, well, I'm just saying, anybody who knows, I don't know the proper word for that, I'm just saying, anybody who knows about certain very horrible, anybody knows about extreme violence, sex, rape, child molestation, any of that sort of stuff, anybody who knows about those horrible, despicable, disgusting things, you get the joke, the air quotes joke about what is happening to Satoko right now. There is lots of non-consensual plap going on right now with Satoko and Teppei, as well as other things. I feel sad and angry just having to say that, but at the same time, again, I was saying earlier about, the beating around the bush. There, we're not beating around the bush. Teppei Hojo is raping her. The only reason he's not beating her is because he knew he'd get in trouble for that.
So yeah. Satoko is currently sucking his dick and getting fucked in the vagina and the ass and being groped and probably passed, I don't know, who knows with the other people. But yeah. For being explicit, Satoko is being raped. She's being molested, and, well, at least she's not being beaten so much anymore because, you know... I'm just saying. I don't know what the appropriate word for this. Adult. Like, if you're like, oh, you got an adult joke in your... But I'm doing air quotes. Everyone's like, we can't see you doing the bunny ears thing with your hands. I'm just saying. I don't know what, like, obviously joke is the word for something comedic, and obviously Satoko being raped and throat fucked by Teppei, the word isn't joke, because that's not comedic. But it's obviously an adult euphemism, where it's being described in a way that's, you know, only adults should be getting and understanding. But it's definitely not a joke. It's not comedic. But I don't know what the appropriate word. It would be an adult and then something else with air quotes next to it. But I don't know the correct word. Anyway. Yeah, again, the story gets dark and depressing at times. At least they were like, I'll ruin Satoko's life. But we all know what's happening. Satoko Hojo is currently gagging on her uncle's dick. Satoko is gagging on Teppei's cock. And then getting forcefully fucked without protection in every hole. And under that, she can also be held and pushed in certain ways that will be strong enough to cause pain, but not leave a bruise. Also, lots of verbal abuse, lots of insults, lots of neglect, lots of yelling, lots of threats, lots of isolation, lots of emotional manipulation. All of those things, very, very bad for anyone's mental health, let alone Satoko. I'm just going to take a moment to appreciate that we are not watching an animation of Satoko being raped right now. Just watching Satoko gagging on Teppei's dick and then getting forcefully fucked without a condom as she screams in pain. That being said, I feel the need to be explicit about stating this because I feel like a lot of people would treat this in the same regard that they would the flanderization of Goku. And everyone's like, what does that mean? Flanderization of a character is when you approach a character in one way that you make the character one-dimensional. And by treating it like object permanence, you're acting like if a subject is not explicitly stated, it must not exist. It'd be like saying if there's a TV show, but you never see pizza in that TV show, pizza must not exist in that world. The flanderization means Ned Flanders. Ned Flanders is supposed to just be your average person. But because they kept dialing up that one little joke about being an overly church person, that became his whole personality. Same thing with Goku. Goku wasn't meant to be stupid or unromantic. Goku was just, one, it's a shonen fighting anime. It's not supposed to be about Goku's adventures, getting his high school diploma of Dr. Brief and being a scientist. You know, get an idea like what's the attention span of the person watching this. I think I'm not insulting people watching Dragon Ball Z, I'm just saying this. Would you find it interesting watching Goku solve algebra and be smart? Or would you rather watch him do a cool fight scene? You know? And again, there's things about rating systems. Like, here's the thing. Initially, Goku was not meant to be stupid, but it's just an easy fucking joke. So they kept going for it and made Goku look stupid just for the sake of getting a good laugh, and also them being terrible writers. And again, do you expect Goku to be algebra? He was living in some cabin in the middle of the woods. Not like he's stupid. He just didn't have that experience with the classes and all that. There's no reason why he wouldn't be. Same thing with Chi-Chi. There's no reason why he wouldn't be romantic or loving. They just eventually wrote that into his character because of omission of the stuff earlier on. But the whole reason Akira Toriyama didn't write, Goku being romantic and stuff is, first off, it's not the genre. It's not the genre. The genre is an action show with some comedy. You're not there to see people being romantic. It's just not what the show's about. Like, you're not going to see like a Warhammer thing become like a detective show. And you're not going to it'd be like, and you're like looking at omission, like saying, okay, well, this character's not being romantic with this person. You're not explicitly seeing the people having sex, so they must never do it. Like, no, it's just not, the correct rating system or genre for it to be animated. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy watching a bit of hentai of Dragon Ball Z. Bulma, Android 18. But I don't want that in the actual show. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not against fan service either. But at the same time, I just want the show to be what I enjoy. Which is, the fighting and the comedy and a good story. Now, yes, I like the other things too. I just don't want them... I just don't feel it's appropriate to have a scene of Goku having hardcore sex with Chi-Chi. I feel like that's not appropriate. But just because he's not doing that doesn't mean they don't have sex or don't have romance. It'd be like saying Carl Winslow, you don't see him, explicitly fucking his wife in Family Matters. It doesn't mean they don't ever have sex. So, just because you don't see something in a show doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means that either it wasn't deemed important, or it was censored or left out because it just wasn't part of the genre, budget constraints, or because it would affect the rating system too much. Same thing, again, Akira Toriyama, even though I feel like he would do a good job of writing a romantic story if he wanted to, Akira Toriyama didn't want to write romance with Chi-Chi and Goku and all that because, one, he felt he wasn't up to the task of writing a good romantic story. He felt he really didn't have a good sense of romance. And two, he didn't want his story to be about that. As is, the story already had a lot of filler and was already a long series anyway. So you had to prioritize making a coherent, cohesive story. Yes, there's such a thing as world building, but you have to also, not have fucking ADHD and autism when you're writing a story. And again, you have to have a clear, concise story. And I can definitely say that I'm perhaps not qualified to be writing a story because I am perhaps too lacking of focus. Okay? I mean, heck, the way I just normally talk or even write can be classified as disorganized speech. It's the way I think, and it's the way that's natural for me, but it's very incoherent for everyone else. But main point I'm just trying to say is why that's necessary for this situation is this. Is that I don't want people to focus on certain details of the game to then become one-dimensional with the characters. But also, at which point you start seeing them more like caricatures rather than actually as real people. But more importantly is this. I don't want people to view a story in a way that if something is not explicitly stated, it means it's not happening. I mean, that's the thing I'm just trying to state, that there's a reason it's being tasteful and it's being careful of rating systems. And it's trying not to be too graphic for people that might be, well, a bit too emotionally disturbed by even it being explicitly stated. But I also don't want people to just view the story and be like, well, because the story didn't explicitly state that Teppei was raping and all that, it's not happening. It's like, well, could be happening, but it didn't say he was, so it must not be. Like, I don't want people... And again, it's a story. It's, it's up to the reader to be how they interpret it. And who knows? I don't know if there's ever been an explicit statement from Ryukishi 07, the author of this story, on this subject. I feel like it's something that he perhaps would like to avoid a lot of times because, well, it's an uncomfortable subject. It makes everyone, including me, sad. But I don't want people to be like, oh, it didn't explicitly state it, so it must not be happening. So, but again, there's also the other end of that spectrum where there's a lot of people that feel that I'm not being explicit enough and that things are actually much, much worse. Heck, there's also the fact that, this is what Teppei's doing, even though he, is concerned about everybody watching and all that. So it's like, if he truly felt that he had all the power in the world and was above consequences when it came to Satoko, what would he be doing then? And again, I would like to say I do not condone or encourage anyone to commit murder or violence, but I do again feel very strongly that I don't think Teppei or anyone like him deserves to live. And I would also feel very strongly about thinking about murdering him. Again, that would perhaps not be the correct choice to do, and would have many consequences, both for yourself as well as for the person you're trying to save. But I'd be lying if I'm saying I don't think about that. That, I don't, I feel I can admit that I think Teppei should die and that I would feel very strongly that I would want to murder him. But I'm also a very non-aggressive person. Heck, I've only ever hurt anybody in my entire life in self-defense. And I tend to be a bit of a non-confrontational person. Heck, even in self-defense, I've never even hit a woman. So, I guess everyone would probably describe me as a bit of a pussy then. But at the same time, just because I'm not out there being violent or anything doesn't mean I don't feel anger. Heck, I find it a bit odd. There's people that tend to feel like I'm a robot or something. They think I don't have emotions or feelings at all. But I actually have really strong emotions and feelings. It's just, I just don't tend to really express them in front of other people. Heck, over the course of my life, I've probably cried like 10,000 times. But 99.99% of that was in private by myself, not in front of another human being. Even to some degree, even during these videos. Then again, I talk more in these videos than I have in the entire rest of my life. I'm not a very talkative person in front of other people. I'm a very shy, withdrawn individual. A bit timid, a bit having gone through my own issues, so... But then we all have our issues, I guess, right? I shouldn't complain too much. And a lot of stuff's the past, and... yeah. I should stop bitching, I guess, but... I'm just saying there's things that bother me, and there's things that made me sad. And there's lots of things that have hurt me, and I've felt the need to cry a lot. But I don't really cry in front of other people. I think the only times I've cried in front of other people usually had to involve either I was hurt, or, somebody was dead, and I feel like that's acceptable. To be allowed to cry in front of people if, somebody's dead, or there's a major situation occurring. But in general, I tend to be very upset about a lot of things, but I keep that to myself. So much so that even though I act stoic and very reserved around in front of people, they just think I'm like a robot. They think I don't have emotions. But it's more like I have emotions, but one, I do tend to have the whole shell wall thing, and well, I just don't really feel very comfortable or safe, expressing myself in front of other people. So, just saying. I feel like Teppei Hojo's deserves to die, and that he has no value as a human being, and he shouldn't exist. And while I think the idea of a hell is unjustifiable, I would think that if there is such a thing, that Teppei Hojo should be on the top of the list of people to go there. So, I'm not condoning murder, and I'm not saying I wouldn't ever murder anyone. But I feel very strongly that I would want to murder Teppei Hojo. I'm probably not the only one who feels that way. Sorry for interrupting your lunchtime, but can I have your attention, please? My classmates looked at me with surprise. I stood in front of the room and banged on the blackboard. I needed to get their attention. You can listen while you eat. I want to talk about our classmate Satoko Hojo. Everyone went quiet as I brought up her name. They all knew how bad of a situation Satoko was in. Remembering what happened to her last year, they understood how critical it was that she get help as soon as possible. Everyone was thinking they wanted to save Satoko if they could. But they hadn't done anything because they didn't know what they alone could do. I don't think there's need for me to explain what's going on with her. As you all know, I just explicitly was explaining. I mean, at the very least, she's not being, punched or having her bones broken, because, that'd be obvious. But she is being raped. So, the molestation is also really bad. If not worse. Satoko's been absent for 3 days in a row. It's been 3 days since she got kidnapped by her uncle. He called the school and told them that she has a cold. But I don't believe that. She hasn't even visited the clinic in these past 3 days. Is she still alive? My classmates think about this logically for a moment. If she's really that sick, why would he not take her to the clinic for 3 whole days? I'm pretty sure Dr. Erie would notice the signs of, severe aggravated rape. It's hard to believe that she was in sick for that long, yeah. She might have the flu, but if that's the case, she should be seeing a doctor. The whole class agreed that it was a bit strange. Everyone had been thinking the same thing inside their hearts. However, no one had really come forward and talked about it. This was a good start. Just think about it. Satoko is the healthiest girl in this village. She won't even get sick after eating food that's past the expiry date. But now she somehow got sick all of a sudden and missed school for 3 days? That's hard to believe, isn't it? The answer is simple. Her uncle was forcing her to stay home. We reported this case to the Child Consultation Center. However, they're putting it on hold. We went there, but all they told us to do was talk about it due to privacy reasons. What do you guys think about all this? I think it is wrong. We all know her aunt and uncle were treating her last year. How? Besides, Satoko-chan was living happily with Rika-chan. It's wrong for him to force her to move out of there and keep her away from us. The sight of Rena letting her emotions speak for her, when she was normally so quiet, demonstrated, most of all, just how dire the situation was. Rena brought an intensity to this that I couldn't, since I often yelled and shouted about things. Are we just going to leave things as they are? Satoko is our friend. She's our classmate. We've spent our time together in this small classroom, and we're like family to each other. Technically, Satoko's probably pregnant at this point. We learned together, we played together, we ate together, and we fought each other at times. We spent so much time together that our relationship is as tight as families. Should we neglect someone who is that precious to us? Raise your hand if you want to neglect her. I'm sure none of you want to do that. No way. We must help Satoko. Mutter, 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 mutter. 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 The class was filled with commotion, which is exactly what I was looking for. The louder I talked, the louder my classmates got. They were getting all fired up. The more I let my true colors show, the greater everyone's emotions became as well. Our club is already making its move. We're trying to figure out how we can save her. Did you know that, Tomino-kun? No, that I did not. Let me tell you what our plan is. Don't worry, it's not something illegal. We're trying to fight, but without breaking the rules. In truth, nothing is more effective in society than taking an orthodox stand. Playing underhanded and striking by surprise may seem more effective, but that's as insignificant as a jack-in-the-box. A real orthodox attack can punch through anything. Yeah, I've heard that even in karate, a straightforward punch can deliver the greatest impact. When you think about the physics a bit, it's only natural, straightforward, simple head-on strike would hold the most power. We're already doing the right thing by saving Satoko, therefore, there's no need for us to do anything underhanded to accomplish that. We need to fight openly. So who are we fighting against? That's a good question, Okumura-kun. This is a fight, true. However, we're not going to be violent with anyone. We're following the rules. This is the honest way to conduct a battle. Before we go any further, let me go back to just how we're going to save Satoko. This is the current situation. Satoko is there. Her uncle is locking her up inside the house. Apparently, she had no obvious signs of injuries as of yesterday, but we don't know that for sure if she hasn't got hurt since then. Besides, preventing her from going to school is already child abuse. Check this out. This is a brochure that Mion brought from the Child Consultation Center. It's written clearly in there, keeping a child away from school is abuse. On top of that, her uncle left Satoko on her own for a year. That's considered neglect. Neglect also counts as abuse. However, the Child Consultation Center didn't even take that into consideration. They ignored the fact that he neglected her for 1 year, and they believe that she hasn't come to school because she's sick. They conclude that Satoko is not being abused because she has no obvious signs injuries at the point. Okay, we have involved the Child Consultation Center. The Mountain Dogs know about this shit. Technically, the army of 100 Nazis with machine guns in the mountains are watching this shit. The Child Consultation Center watching, the Board of Education is watching, the school's watching it. We're bitching about it. The Sonozakis are watching it. The fucking Mafia's watching this because, you know, Rina fucking stole from them. And they think Teppei took the money too. The fucking police are watching his house. Teppei is the most fucking watched person in the world. That even fucking George Orwell would be saying this is too much. That even the fucking government of Canada and England and the UK and Germany and France would be saying this is too much fucking surveillance. Even the fucking CCP in Russia would be saying this is too much surveillance. And yet, no one's able to, I mean, we're literally having police watching Teppei's house for days. And he is currently throat fucking Satoko and raping her and impregnating his niece. While constantly screaming horrible insults at the top of his lungs and throwing and breaking furniture. The police are literally watching and staking him out watching him do this, and no one is helping her. What do all of you think? And again, we have 100 Nazis with AK-47s running a secret government military project in the mountains also watches. Granted, they want to remain secret, but they have the blessing of the fucking, well, parts of the Japanese government, albeit. Then again, it's not the first time there's, maybe classified stuff in the government. Every government has it. I'm just saying, I'd like government transparency. Now I'm just suspecting aliens to land and we're just watching Donald Trump, President Trump, shaking hands with a UFO people on the White House lawn. As I'm still I would like some, I don't know, those dividend checks, the Doge saved money. I could use a little more money. Be a little less concerned about rent. This is a blatant case of child abuse. Just because she doesn't have the energy doesn't prove that she's not getting abused. I agree with him. How come they can't see it? It's so obvious. From what Mion's heard, from inside her office, 2 or 3 days isn't enough time to determine the abuse is taking place or not. Apparently they can only recognize the abuse after it's continued for over several months or several years. Like I said, I've heard places in my part of the world that have described it as, well, if the bone isn't getting broken, it's not abuse. Which, again, I find that very depressing. She says they have to evaluate the situation very carefully. So what do you all think about that? Do you think keeping Satoko in that house for several months is a good idea? No way, no way. Exactly, absolutely no way. The Child Consultation Center has no idea how much danger Satoko is facing right now. She is currently facing his dick. They don't know how terrible it was for her last year. I mean, at least she wasn't being raped by Teppei's dick last year. So, there's that. That's why they're just putting her case on hold. What would you do to Minagoroshi? Sir, I think the issue here is a child consultation that isn't grasping the urgency of her situation. I think someone needs to go there and explain to them how serious this is. Right. It might be routine for them to wait and see what happens. But in Satoko-chan's case, that's not applicable. Her uncle was abusing her last year too. It was taking out his stress. He was taking out his stress on her. Oh, he's definitely doing that now. After the death of her aunt, he left Satoko-chan all alone and disappeared somewhere for over an entire year. You know what? We even have information that he disappeared because he tried to move in with his lover in Okonomiya. What was Satoko doing while he left her? She was fortunate because Rika-chan offered her a place to stay, but what if Rika-chan wasn't there for her? She'd have no choice but to try and survive on her own. Furthermore, we also know that he came back to Hinamizawa because his lover disappeared somewhere. In other words, she dumped him. He had no choice but to come back to Hinamizawa, and he forced Satoko to live with him again. Her neighbors have seen her doing laundry too. The reason he took Satoko with him is clear. He took her so she could work as his slave. His slave in multiple ways, I might add. How could anyone do something like that? Is there anyone in this classroom that would call such a rotten person a parent after he spent a full year playing around with his mistress only to come home waltzing back and throwing his weight around? I mean, technically he has a new mistress now. She's just really short. No way. Right, he's not her guardian, but the Child Consultation Center still calls him that. They claim that they have gone through the family court in order to take away his parental rights. Who has the right to decide whether he's good enough to be Sato's guardian? It shouldn't be the court. It should be decided based on common sense. I can say this clearly. He is not Sato's guardian. We need to make that clear to the Child Consultation Center. The Child Consultation Center is the only organization that can help Satoko before she's being physically abused. The police won't move unless it develops into a criminal case. They are already wiretapping him and having people staking out his house and have cameras. They are literally watching this as it's happening. But do you think we're going to wait until Satoko becomes a victim? I mean, we are taking the fastest course of action we can. That isn't murder, and yet, not fast enough. We can't just sit around until that happens. That's why we're going to make our move now. We hit the Okonomiya Child Consultation Center yesterday. This is what they wrote down after what we did. 5 classmates of Satoko Hojo-san made a visitation request for protection. Do you know what that means? 5 classmates are not enough. We need your help. We need all of you. This is your chance to do something meaningful in your life. If you don't help us, you're not our friends. All you have to do is support me. I will do all the talking, and our club members are going to do all of the fighting. We just want you guys to support us. If that's not enough, feel free to join the fight. Let them know the spirit of Hinamizawa Branch School. Mabara-kun. What is going on? Chie-sensei looked into the classroom, the commotion having attracted her attention. As soon as she tried to step inside the class, someone behind her stopped her. Principal, Miss Chie, I would like to have some tea. Would you make me a cup, please? It was a clear display of his intent not to disrupt Keiichi's speech. Are you sure? There are lots of young children in the class. If they all go to the Child Consultation Center, how can we explain it to their parents? Chie. Furude-san, what is going on here? Everyone is trying so hard for Satoko's sake. I can't do anything, so I need their help. But I can at least try to stop you from stopping them. Chie had never seen Rika stare at her with an expression like that. She was surprised to see Rika looking so determined. Why would you want to stop them? Principal? This is splendid, isn't it? They should do what they can. I will take responsibility for whatever happens. The principal pounded his own chest. Chie-sensei couldn't object any longer. I understand. Please make sure that no one gets hurt. You all must follow the rules and mind your manners. You must promise me that. Thank you very much. I'm proud of you, Miss Chie. My students are teaching me many lessons. Yes, I've made my decision. My students are like my own children, and what mother wouldn't protect her own children? I can think of a few. Alright. Head back out as soon as you get home today and meet us at Okonomiya Library. The Child Consultation Center is on the first floor. Bring your parents if you can. Yeah. Wait. Chie-sensei. Sensei, are you going to stop us? Certainly not. I truly understand your passion. I'm going to support you, as long as you follow the rules. Yeah. I'm coming with you to make sure you behave yourselves. Is that okay? Yeah. Alright. Here we go. We're all getting fired up. Here we go. Are you ready? We headed for the library as soon as we got back home from school. I had expected that a few kids wouldn't show up, but surprisingly everyone came along. I could tell just how driven they were. It was also encouraging to have Chie-sensei there with us as well. I had to admit I had been feeling a bit guilty for dragging everyone to the Child Consultation Center. But as long as Chie-sensei was there with us, I didn't need to feel the guilt. Mabura-san, please come to the counter. Hello, I'm Mabura. How can we help you today? As I wrote on the registration form, we came to tell you about the danger the Satoko Hojo is in. How many of you are here today? And how are you all related to her? We're Satoko's classmates and her teacher. There are 27 of us. Well, our consultation room is not very large. Can we just... a few people come with insider representatives? Then shouldn't you prepare a bigger room, like a meeting room? I believe you should be arranging a room for us, not asking us to adjust to yours. Please, just give us a moment. The receptionist seemed troubled. She told us to head back to our seats and started to make a phone call to someone. Good job, Rena-san. Good job indeed. I consider myself a pro, and even I thought that threat was perfectly timed. How are you trying to compliment me? Rena is good at reading other people's minds. Sometimes she can use that talent against the enemy to intimidate them. A strange atmosphere permeated the office. It must have been the first time a whole class had visited on the behalf of one child. It was as though we were here for a school trip. Well, hello. I'm Haruyama, the manager of this center. Please take a seat. I'm sorry for bringing the whole class to your office. I'm Chie from the Hinamizawa Branch School. We're here to talk with you today. They were treating us so differently now that we had 5 times as many kids, plus 1 adult. Instead of the small consultation room, they took us to a big meeting hall. On top of that, the manager was there, alongside the lady from yesterday. I will let Mabura-kun do the talking. Chie-sensei sat down at the far end of the table. She was just here to look after us. Besides, like I said, we were the ones who were going to fight. It was fine if Chie-sensei just stayed there and watched us quietly. I'm Keiichi Mabura. Nice to meet you. Well, I've heard that yesterday you visited us with 5 of your friends to present your valuable thoughts to us on Satoko Hojo-san's case. Are you here on a different matter today? I hadn't expected that they would start the conversation. What were they thinking? I don't like how ambiguous this feels. It feels like they're debating how to move, unsure if the fault lies with us or not. Kei-chan, you should clearly tell them why we came here, and let them know that they're in the wrong. My friends were analyzing the situation behind me. It felt like I was having a meeting with the president of a foreign country. Actually, that wasn't far from the truth. I was sort of the prime minister. I was representing the whole class. I needed to be polite, but stern. Alright, let's attack from this angle then. Kei-chan, tell them something like this. How about we just have this conversation like we just pretend we're Donald Trump? We'll just talk to them the way, President Trump would. That usually tends to be the most effective business decision. Got it? Mion gave me her attack plan. This really is how Mion operates best. If she's weak on defense, then I can bear the brunt of impudence, while Mion's issues perfect orders from behind. I took my friend's analysis and advice in consideration and calmly opened my mouth. No, first let me confirm something with you. We've come here today to make sure what we came to convey yesterday was properly conveyed to you. So I apologize if this seems rude, but could you please tell us how much you grasped from our conversation yesterday? It's alright if that just means reading a memo aloud. They became quiet for a second. It might have been only a short time, but the silence felt much longer than that. I could see the manager's expression turning serious. He thought he was just dealing with a social studies class, but suddenly his response changed to that of one dealing with a protest group of local citizens. From my understanding, we've acknowledged that you came to appeal to Satoko Hojo-san is in an extreme situation meriting temporary protection from our agency, and that we should expedite our response. I believe that our staff at the time explained that we are not taking our situation lightly and are currently discussing the appropriate measures. So taking into consideration the fact that Satoko Hojo-san was suffering abuse from her uncle at this time last year, you still believe an urgent response is unnecessary. To be fair, she's actually suffering more abuse than last year at a faster rate. I didn't get to read that because I clicked the button. Well, our organization has no confirmed records that Teppei Hojo-san was administering abuse at this time last year. Mutter, 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 mutter. What? What the hell were you guys doing last year? She was being abused by both her aunt and her uncle. Please don't tell us that you were only aware of the abuse from her aunt. Normally, we don't talk about such private affairs, but under these special circumstances, I think it's acceptable to say we are aware that there was trouble between Satoko-san and her aunt, Tamai-san. However, we have no records showing that her uncle was also involved in the abuse. In fact, when we interviewed her neighbors, several mentioned Tamai-san's slight hysteric tendencies, but none ever brought up the name of her uncle Teppei-san. Yeah, because they're fucking scared of him. We believe that simply because his abuse didn't stand out under the shadow of her aunt's especially vicious nature. We do not believe that constitutes evidence that her uncle was not abusing her as well. I see. So you claim there was a likelihood that Teppei also inflicted abuse on the child at this time last year. The manager and the staff beside him jotted that down with a pen, as if to show that that was their first time hearing the information. This is why we came here today. We believe the Child Consultation Center doesn't have a proper understanding of her present situation. We believe you should be able to see how urgent this case is once you fully understand it. I see. We're taking that into consideration. Please allow us to do a more thorough investigation into Teppei-san. We mentioned this yesterday as well, but her uncle had abandoned his responsibility as a guardian for over a year. We received no response on this information yesterday, but what is your organization's opinion on this matter? Of course, our office is aware that Teppei-san was absent from his residence for a year, and we have interviewed him on the matter. So what was his excuse? I mean, you can't talk about it for privacy reasons, but if it convinced all of you, it must have justified leaving her alone for a whole year, right? If you believe living with his mistress, an okinomiya, is sufficient reason for abandoning his responsibilities for a full year, then we would like to receive that in writing. No. Is that what happened? He explained to us that he was forced to work away from home in order to raise Satoko-san. So this is our first time hearing that. What the hell? They just believed that crap? If it's your first time hearing that, then you should also know that Satoko has been absent from school for 3 days in a row now. While he contacted the school yesterday to say she had a cold, the only hospital in the village, the Erie Clinic, has no records of her being examined. What do you believe the proper response is for a guardian who refuses to take a child to the hospital when she's been bedridden with illness for 3 days in a row? I assume it's not to rape her repeatedly. Well, we confirmed that she was absent one day, but 3 days in a row is news to us as well. However, our social worker met directly with Satoko-san and confirmed the child in question denies the occurrence of the abuse. When we asked if she wished to continue living with Teppei-san, she answered in the affirmative. Why do I feel like we're just going to have footage of the people that are emaciated and on the brink of death from starvation? That are the hostages from Hamas? Oh yeah, here's footage of them with a gun to their head saying, oh no, we're totally not being abused. What's that? You can see my internal organs through my stomach? Everyone's like, you're exaggerating. I'm like, no. We've literally seen footage of those people. They look like Holocaust survivors. They look like skeletons. They look like people dying of starvation in an SCP game. I'm just saying this. Are we just going to believe oh, the hostage has a gun to their head? No, I'm fine. Oh, these purple bruises everywhere? I fell down the stairs. She answered in the affirmative. So there's no abuse as long as she says so? That's one of the more difficult aspects. Whether the child herself feels she is suffering abuse or not is a very important factor. Okay, so let's go to every prison in a third world country and ask, hey, these people who have the power to murder or do anything to you, if you say something that makes them look bad, are they treating you badly? I mean, if you say they are, we can't do anything to save you, but, at least we'll have confirmation that they're doing horrible things. But then you'll go back into, completely under the power of the people doing those horrible things, which I'm sure they won't be very happy that you told the truth. Whether the child herself feels she is suffering abuse or not is a very important factor. It's much like the definition of bullying. While the bully may believe that they are bullying, it's bullying if the recipient believes it is. It may just be the fact that I feel like the system has failed me in regard to many things. But I'll say this. Whether it's very personal stuff going on in my current part of life, at the age of 38, or the fact that back when I was younger, I got bullied and mistreated a lot in school. I was bullied very, very, very much. It was not good. So she can't do anything unless she admits that she's being abused and seeks your help herself. No, that's not quite how it works. Our organization investigates the child's environment, and if we find any problems that might harm their lifestyle, we take appropriate action to protect them. However, we don't believe Satoko-san's case has reached that level of danger at the present. He literally broke all her furniture and is raping her, while yelling and screaming horrible obscenities. No urgency at this point. That was exactly how the child consultation should have felt at Satoko's case. Our classmates who had been watching the discussion burst into uproar. How can you say something like that? What makes you believe that she's not in danger? First of all, Satoko-san denies the abuse, and not only that, she had no visible injuries either. Also, she is being provided with shelter, food, and clothes. We can't say that Teppei-san is not taking responsibility as her guardian. Both of them seemed to have no complaints about the current living arrangements. We believe that we do not need further discuss Teppei-san's past, but unfortunately we also believe that you and your friends are overreacting to the situation. Overreacting? Calm down, Keiichi-kun. Let's not take it too personally. Damn it, why are they treating us like this? They think we're only acting this way based on what happened last year. I see. The consultation center was assuming that this year's case and last year's cases were two separate issues. On top of that, Satoko was denying the abuse entirely. Teppei-san regrets the fact that he had to leave Satoko-san alone because of having to work for her sake. He promised that he would stay with her from now on and raise her lovingly. I feel the need to do an air quotes in that lovingly in multiple ways. Bang. I heard a loud noise. Someone had just pounded the table. Everyone, including the manager, was startled. I figured it must have been Shion, but it was Rena. Whoa, her face had turned as furious as a demon's. It's best for a child to live with their parents. There are things you can only learn from the love of your family. We've heard that Satoko-san was living with another minor for the past year and has not been living under any adult. This could greatly harm her future as she is a sensitive, growing child. I'm sure that in your friendship with her, you all believe that she may be the happiest that way, but could you please give Satoko-san and Teppei-san the opportunity to restart their new lives as uncle and niece, and watch over them kindly? But weren't you listening to any of the things we said? You're saying that you're not going to help her unless Satoko asks for your help. How is she supposed to seek help if she's being locked inside her house? She can't even go outside or make a phone call. How can she seek help? We came in her stead because she can't be her herself. But you're not even willing to listen to us. That's not what we're trying to say. We will remember that over 20 of her classmates visited to talk about Satoko-san's case. We'll take what happened today in consideration when we make further decisions about her case. When are you going to make the decision? Can you guarantee us that Satoko-chan won't get hurt before the decision is made? If something happens to her, will you take responsibility? If she gets even a single bruise on her body, you're in huge trouble. Shion-san, that's enough. Please, tell us when you will make that decision. That's right. How long is it going to take you? Like I said, we need to take the matter seriously and make a careful decision. In order to do so, we will continue to meet with the two of them and investigate that so that her and her father, her uncle, can have a better relationship. Please wait and see what happens for a while. We ask you to do so for her sake. So that's your response. You're saying that it isn't urgent even though we came here to tell you that it is. I was starting to get lost in what they were trying to say, but Rena's words made me realize everything. We came here to tell them that they needed to protect her right away, but they clearly told us that they didn't see any reason to do so. We understand there may be reason for urgency. We will take your opinion into consideration and make our decision. I hope that will satisfy you. At first glance, it sounded like they were speaking humbly, but our insistence of the urgency to Satoko's situation was spinning their wheels. They had no intention of meeting us halfway. Right. They are officials. Plus, they have authority that can change the life of an individual like Satoko. Considering that, being a little overcautious and carefully deliberating matters wasn't the wrong response for them, and I would have understood that if this wasn't so personal. But in reality, Satoko had no time to spare. We could see that, because we understood everything. We knew how Satoko would reject me after I rubbed her head, because of the horrible abuse she got from her uncle. That nightmare will continue to come true in just a few days. And that nightmare, I knew that I should save her. But I just wasted my time. I wasn't going to make the same mistake. I had to make a move immediately. Mabura-kun, did you say everything that you wanted to? Yes. That's it for today. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. Everyone, please bow to them. Class President, will you take the lead? Thank you very much. No, thank you for your valuable opinions. Thank you, everyone. Be careful on your way home. We all came back to Hinamizawa together, and it was time for us to part. As the class president, Mion gave everyone the notice we were dismissed. However, everyone stuck around to talk about what happened today. We came back to Hinamizawa on our bikes, so we didn't really get a chance to talk to each other on the way. Now that we'd gotten off of them, we finally got to say what we wanted. This is the first time that everyone in the class has gotten together and fought for someone like this. It reminds me of the dam conflict. Everyone's feelings are united. That's true. None of these kids participated in the conflict, even though they might remember it from when they were a baby. But what we did today was more polite than what they did in the dam conflict. No one is bleeding, and there are no bombs or riot police. Unity is the best thing about Hinamizawa. That's true. This old man's blood is boiling for the first time in a while. The people in Hinamizawa all got together to fight against the dam project. Everyone working together as a team means a lot to the villagers here. If there's one person coming, 2 should throw rocks at him. If there are 2, 4 should do so too. If there are 4, then 8. If there's 1,000, then a whole village should stand up and fight. What's that? A figure of speech? It's something that our grandma used to say. She was trying to tell the villagers to band together and fight. When there's one enemy, 2 should fight together. When there's 1,000, the whole village should fight together. I see. She wanted the villagers to unite and defeat their enemies. It means more than that. Uniting to fight together is one thing, but it also means the whole village should unite and fight for the sake of an individual. Its real meaning is that everyone should share that individual's pain, sympathize with them, and fight for them too. Wow, that sounds very similar to what's happening right now. In other words, the battle that we're fighting right now represents Hinamizawa as a whole. I see. Everyone supported me not because they were impressed by my speech, but because of their nature to unite like that. The classmates were all still sticking around and discussing the issues surrounding Satoko. For some of them, this was like a return of the dam conflict, and also a big chance for those who never experienced it. It almost felt like a festival. Most of them thought that we didn't make much progress today, though. Mabura-san,
So their conclusion is that they're not going to save Hojo-san, right? The answer wasn't that bad, but you're right, in the sense they'll just watch her suffer. I live close to him, so I know what kind of guy that uncle is. He is not normal. We've figured out that the people at the Child Consultation Center don't understand anything, but we just can't give up after today either. Tomino-kun, Okamura-kun seemed serious, and they weren't just supporting me. They wanted to make a move themselves. We're going to have to work hard to save Hojo-san. Yeah, I agree. It's hard to believe that these are the same innocent kids who are always running around the school. I'm really happy to see them so motivated. Of course we are. Satoko is our friend. We are going to save her. So please, lend us your support again. No, Mabra-san. This is our responsibility as our classmates. We're not fighting because you ask us to. We're doing this because we want to. I'm impressed to hear that from you, Kamura-kun. Shall we go there again tomorrow? I don't think we should take any days off. Consistency is important. I agree with Renaissance. But it's only going to end with the same result if we go there with the same people again. I think today was more effective because we were there with more people. Then shall we go there with even more people tomorrow, shall we? Rena turned back toward everyone as she spoke. We all understood what she was trying to say. Not all children from Hinamizawa go to the Hinamizawa branch school. Around half of them go to the school in Okonomiya. Those children are not our classmates, but they're still our friends from around the neighborhood. Hinamizawa is a small village, after all. They know Satoko as well as we do. They also know what's going on with her right now. Rumors spread at the speed of light in Hinamizawa. I can tell that by now. Everyone in the village knows about my embarrassing history of undergoing punishments. I'll talk to Daisuke when I go home today. I bet he'd come with us. I'll call my friends when I get back home too. The school in Okonomiya isn't that far from the library. That's a good idea. I'll try and get more people too. This is turning out well. I think we can get at least 10 more people on our side. I'll try reaching out to a few of the old members of the kids club too. I think I can get at least 3 more of them to come with us. I'll ask my friends from cram school too. But none of them know about Satoko or her situation. They're just friends of mine, so it'll only be about 4 people. Do you think it might be difficult to get other adults involved? Well... The people on the town council don't want to have anything to do with the Hojo family. Because of what happened during the dam conflict. How about other older people? Can't you get other people on our side, Rika-chan? Older people are bitter towards Satoko. People who believe in the curse of Oishiro-sama really think that Hojo-sama deserves what they get. So we can only get more children, but no adults. How many of us will there be? At this rate, there's going to be around 17 more children. I don't know if they will all make it. Hopefully there will be more than 40 of us. 40 people, I'm impressed, Keiichi. You think 40 is enough, Rika-chan? What? I grinned and tapped Rika-chan's chest. It's not enough. 40 is not enough to knock out those stubborn people. We need at least 20 more. I'm sure 60 people would intimidate them. But where can we get that much help? Haha, you have no idea. My name is Keiichi Mabra. If I say I'm going to accomplish something, I will. Talk to our parents. They'll get some more people. Plus, well... So that's the whole story, Kameda-kun. We're going to launch our 3rd attack tomorrow evening. Will you help us? I don't want to reject your request, Kay. We the Jumbo Parfaits together. That was our vow as sworn brothers. I want to help you, Kay. But tomorrow is not a good day. What? Why is that, Kameda? You can't lend a hand to this poor innocent girl? Where's your pride as a 2-dimensional warrior? You deserve a beating. Clench those teeth. Ugh, erg. Wait a minute, Kei-san. Please, listen to me. I would help her if it wasn't tomorrow. Of course, I love schoolmates, and normally I'd be happy to even lick Satoko-chan's socks. Haha. But I just can't tomorrow. You bastard! Tell me, Kameda. I'll knock at least 3 of your teeth out if you can't make it because of your parents' funeral. I can't come tomorrow because tomorrow is the dessert fiesta here at Angel Mort. What did you say? It's the dessert fiesta, Kei-san.
It's the dessert fiesta of Angel Mort. It gets bonus points for using hiragana for fiesta. I actually won an admission ticket. I'm not going to invite anyone but you. Let's go and pick out on those sweet girls, I mean cakes. Ugh, yeah, Gug, yeah. Please, Kei-san. I will help you the day after tomorrow, so please let me go to the fiesta tomorrow. Please, I'm begging you. I have to go see Megallica in concert. Let me know if anyone knows what anime I'm referencing. Keiichi-kun, I think you should let him go for tomorrow. No, I can't. I can't let him go, Kamada. You've dared to weigh cakes against a real little girl? You only gain the right to eat cake when you can save that girl. For starters, you don't have any understanding how good Satoko is. Listen, Satoko's charm is what seems soon at first glance, but as you get to her, as you set off her flag, she grows dere. She's a classic tsundere. You should understand that the greatest appeal of a tsundere lies in the gap between her tsun and dere. Normally she's all tsun, without an ounce of eroticism, but once you flip her switch, she's suddenly dere. The gap between her on/off states is her charm. She just likes the first and last half of the higurashi's plot itself. In other words, Satoko is the true Miss Higurashi. On top of that, she has the added spice of the little sister element that's growing standard now, as well as being a so-uke. She's the new generation of heroine, with a perfect level of rebellious spirit, making her a grand descent into the world overflowing with romantically dependent heroines. You want to know how amazing her advent is? She's as incredible as a blonde princess alighting in an open field, but she's not a goddess. So don't go spouting unload, upload, or pass please. If you can't understand her appeal, then what are you? Where's your pride as a 2D warrior? What would you dare to say you're moving to fake 3D? Now with the increases in polygon count, you're a century too early. Our progenitors from the age when heroines were displayed in 256-bit with 8 colors. They found love and moe there, evolving their emotions to an even higher dimension. None of that was to escape into the 2D world. It was an evolution of the love derived from the love of the real women. The statue of Venus and the Mona Lisa are all the epitome of our progenitors' feelings of moe. By the way, I think the girl with the fewest pixels was Ko from Draga. Young people nowadays probably can't even tell that she's a girl. Oh. By the way, the princess of the Dragon Buster was amazing. She was wearing a short skirt and a crown, and she had a scepter. She even changed into a swimsuit and a bunny girl outfit. Am I the only one? Yes, we 2D warriors were searching the truth behind those walls of pixels and polygons, seeking their true form. So how could you say you would choose those pixels and polygons over real-life little girl that exists without those walls between you? That proves you've lost sight of your... Am I the only one who thinks she was the oldest cosplaying heroine in the history of Japanese arcade games? It's amazing that I was able to play those games for only 50 yen. But remember, we found our feelings of moe in the beautiful girls that lay beyond the 16 by 16, 16x 16 pixel art. Anyway, all I want to say now is which console is going to get Resident Evil or Metal Gear. By the way, the new Dead or Alive... I can't read while it's shaking! I'm sorry, I was wrong. What was I thinking? What have I done? It's okay, Kamada. Mistakes are there so you can realize you made them. You just realized your mistake and became a better man. sight of her goal and settle for half measures. 2D warriors do not deny the 3D. They're a new generation of 3D warriors who love 3D even more, trying to express that in detail through 2D symbols. Though calling it 2D is bad when it's elevated above 3D, you may get... Take my hand! The door to the next millennium is right in front of you. Keiichi-kun and Kamada-kun seem to be having lots of fun. I have no idea what they're talking about. Don't bother, don't bother. You may get confused because 2 sounds inferior. That's what Microsoft named their Xbox console 360, because Xbox 2 would sound too inferior to the PlayStation 3. Is it true that Zack is made out of the same number of polygons as the female character's breasts? Anyway, forget about that and buckle down to save the real little girl, Kameda. I got it, Kay. On my honor as a man, I will help you save that girl. They have dessert fiestas 4 times a year, so what if I miss one of them? That's not a big deal. He seems so down. Meep. By the way, Mion, you said you were going to give me 3 years worth of these as a reward for the auction, right? I'll give you 1 year admission if you help me, Kamada-kun. No thank you, Kay. I'm a man. I'd be ashamed of myself if I was saving this girl because I was getting a reward. Shi-chan, do you think we can do something for him, do you? How about this? I'll remove his name from the blacklist. Blacklist? What's that? Normal customers don't know about this, huh? There are customers that cause trouble in this restaurant sometimes. Whenever they do something wrong, their name gets written on the blacklist. Once their name gets written down enough times, they're no longer allowed to enter the restaurant. Haha, stop it now. I'm an Angel Mort master. I would never behave so unmannered as to get myself on a blacklist. You touched a waitress improperly twice, called a waitress just to talk with her, and sold tickets outside of the restaurant. You'll be forbidden from entering after one more transgression. No way! I can't believe this. That's horrible. If I can't come to Angel Mort, I'll have no reason to live. However, I'm impressed that you're willing to save Satoko. I'll erase your name from the list as a reward. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hey, Michan, does that blacklist really exist? This old man has no idea. Kameda-kun, thank you. Let me know if you can't get a ticket for the next Desert Fiesta. I'll invite you. K. Hug. With exclamation points. We are reaffirming our strong friendship. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll bring my baseball team members with me. I should be able to get at least 10 people. It sounds like our uncle was a really crazy guy. Wouldn't it be faster just to kick his ass rather than going to the child consultation center? We can't do that, otherwise he'd take revenge on Satoko-chan. I see. Yeah, he'd be really wrecked on her. I mean hard on her. Of course, we can't commit murder either. Alright, let's do it the right way. We don't want to get arrested by the police. 10 people are still not enough. Do you think you can get more people from somewhere? Huh? You need more people, huh? Let's take care of it. Kamada-kun grinned at me and suddenly stood up and shouted. Hey, you guys! You heard everything, didn't you? For those who have a ticket for tomorrow, I'm not going to force you. But if you're free, give us a hand. Everyone in the restaurant looked at him. There were a lot of people around. The dessert fiesta is tomorrow, so shouldn't today have just been a normal day? You're not wrong. But the people who missed out on tickets for dessert fiesta are here today. All these guys are regulars. I don't know their names, but we see each other all the time in the restaurant. What do you think about this story, guys? The longer I listen to it, the more upset I get. Isn't that right, my comrades? Locking a real girl up? I want to do that. I mean, I can't allow that to continue. I will punish any guy who can't be nice to a girl. He can do it in his imagination, but it's unacceptable in the real world. Tell us to come with you, Kay. We admire your hunger. The Okonomiya Squadron is prepared to enact a rescue operation. Please give us the order to attack. This operation is Satoko. Your mission starts tomorrow. I can't read well evening. Make sure the clock is on time and tomorrow will is written. This may be the day you die. All right? The power of simping will save people that actually deserve to be saved. I'm sorry, you guys. Thank you for your help. You don't even... something. You don't even know her. Can't abandon her just because of one tiny thing like that. Besides, we know very much about Princess Satoko. My fellows, I enjoy indulging in the warm sentiments that fill our hearts when our young lady fails to notice a bit of cream stuck to her chin. Therefore, this is a personal matter for us as well. Alright, you guys, I'm going to rely on you. You need to come back me up, okay? Be ready to fight tomorrow evening. Yeah! K! Keiichi-kun is such a popular guy. He's popular with the town council, too. He seems to be popular in most unexpected places. Lots of the people seem to respect him, too. Some of the waitresses here are also concerned about Satoko. They said they want to come and support us when they're off. Wow, I guess we have about 60 people now. We might get even more than that. So, is this the power to defeat fate? Okay, we're gonna have to go fight fucking Shao Kahn to save Satoko. Unfortunately, Shao Kahn has more than just a boner mask. I'm trying to make silly references to other video games to make it more lighthearted because it's such a severe topic. But I feel like nothing I could say could, make it not be so morbid. A fucking bastard is raping somebody, so that's awful. And yeah. That night, I attended a meeting for the Minagoroshi Festival Committee. Lunar burped. Everyone assembled in the meeting room in the Furude Shrine. I had seen the building a few times, but I hadn't actually been inside before. There were pictures depicting the history of the dam conflict on the wall. According to Mion, this assembly building had been used as a headquarters of the dam protest back in the day. There was a huge flag that said Onagafushi Guardians hanging on the wall. People had written messages on it. If the main conflict is with Oryu and these people being against the Hojos, then my best bet would be to be extraordinarily polite to them and humble myself. I should be polite, I should bow before them, and I should beg for their forgiveness for what they were upset over the dam conflict. Yes, some people may say that's not really good of you to do, Vegeta-san. Your pride and all that. But I look at it like Vash the Stampede in Trigun. He threw his pride away if it meant protecting other people. Heck, technically Vegeta's done the same a few times. I think the best thing to do in that situation is to be polite to them and to humble myself and bow and to literally beg them to help Satoko. People had written messages on it. I had been called to the meeting so I could introduce myself. We should also... I'd say this. We already spoke to our parents about it, so they may actually be considering the whole adoption of Satoko thing on their own. But I'd say come tomorrow we should at least mention the idea to them ourselves. I had been called to the meeting so I could introduce myself. While I'd been chosen to be the host of the auction several days ago, this was my first time actually attending a meeting. There were about 30 committee members in the room, and my dad and I were introduced to them. Since I'm still a minor, I had to bring him along with me. I had often heard the term parental rights recently, because of Satoko's situation, and because of that, I'd been thinking about the relationship between me and my dad. The Mabura family is a pretty happy one, I think. I'm blessed to have parents like them. Hello, I'm Keiichi Mabura. This is my first time doing something like this. I'm very nervous, but I'll do my best. Hear, hear. You do your best, young man. There are friendly smiles and applause, and I realized how welcoming people are in this village. I felt pressured as I thought about how big of a responsibility I was going to have to undertake at the festival. Since I looked so nervous, the leaders of the committee all came up to me and said that I could just act natural and do my thing. Thank you for offering my son such an important position. I'm sorry that I'm unable to participate in the council activities due to my job, but I will do what I can to support my son.
Clap, clap, plap, plap. My dad must be used to making speeches. All right then, we'll break up into groups and start the meeting. It's going to last until 8:50 p.m. Please begin your discussions as soon as you can. The festival committee can be broken up in different teams, like a general affairs team, a construction team, a refreshment booth team, and a ceremony team. Each team has separate meetings. My dad and I were told to join the event team, but after all, we joined toward the end without knowing anything, and the festival was next Sunday, too. I didn't understand anything they were saying, and I couldn't even express any opinions anyway. Nodding and pretending to participate in the proceedings was the most we could do. Near the end, I finally got the information about the auction I needed. I found out what time I was supposed to be backstage, and other stuff about my job like that. They asked me what I was going to wear, and I stopped short. I thought I could just wear my regular clothes, but they suggested that I should wear something more flashy, since I was the host of the event. But I don't have any clothes like that. How about a suit with a bow tie? That would make you look like a real MC. A bow tie? That's so embarrassing. I want to wear something more casual than that. How's the meeting going, Kei-chan? What you talking about? They're talking about what he's going to wear during the auction. If you don't have anything flashy to wear, I can get you something like that. Really? Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't introduced myself yet. I'm Keiichi's father. Dad, I don't trust him to get me proper clothes. I'm sure he won't get me anything for men. A bow tie is fine. I'll just wear that. If I didn't compromise on that, Iria and Mion would try and make me wear something outrageous. She'd also want me to wear women's clothes. You're part of the committee too, huh? Which team are you on? He's on the general affairs team, where he's in charge of first aid. We always ask for his help since he's a doctor and all. All I have to do is give band-aids to people who trip and fall. It's an easy job. For the most part, I'm just drinking beer under the main tent. It's nothing compared to your work, Mabura-san. I'm looking forward to it. Yahaha! I'm going to drink barley tea with him too. Nipa! You absolutely cannot, Furude-san. Oh, good evening, Mabura-kun. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you too, Mabura-san. Hello, ma'am. Thank you for being so nice to my son all the time. Mabura-kun, are you ready for the auction? I'm looking forward to seeing your show. It felt weird to see Chie-sensei and the principal outside of school. Rika-chan, you're performing a dance at the festival, right? I heard it's right after my show. I'm looking forward to it. It's a traditional ceremony that she's performing. I'm sure you're nervous about it, huh? How do you feel this year? I'm used to it now, so I'm fine. You've only done it once last year, but you're already used to it. I'm impressed. Mabura-san! You know, we should talk to you. You are a police officer, and I'm concerned about my friend that is being repeatedly raped while locked in a dungeon, so. It's been a while. Oh, Oishi-san, it's nice to see you. Have you been practicing the Tsubami Gaishi? No, I've been concerned about my friend who's being beaten and molested. That's kind of taken priority. Nufu, we should play together. You won't get better unless you play every day, you know? You know how to play Mahjong, Mabura-kun? You know how to play Mahjong, Mabura-kun? Oh, he knows how to play, doesn't he? No. He's a pretty good player, too. Heh, heh, heh. Perhaps we really should start playing Mahjong in our club now. We should go and crush every Mahjong parlor in the city. You know, I looked at Walmart recently. They do not sell Mahjong there. Oishi-san thinks I'm an experienced player since I was practicing the Tsubami Gaishi the other day. Why do people misunderstand me all the time? By the way, Mabura-kun, I heard about that case. What case? About what you're planning to do tomorrow evening. A few of my staff members and I are going to be there as well. Takano-san and Tomotsaki-san are coming as well. Or two. We can't bring that many people, but I hope you'll let us join you. Awesome!
That's so nice of you. Thank you so much. Every person counts. Eri? I'm sorry that we can't do much to help her, but we still want to do something. This is what Takano-san suggested. Takano? Yes, she wanted to help somehow. She feels bad that she wasn't able to assist you the other day. Oh, are you talking about that rumor? The one that's saying Mabura-san's become the leader of a protest group or something. Even you know about it. You know about Satoko. Of course he does. He's very sensitive to rumors inside the village. Then do something! Yeah, it's only my job. I'm very aware of what's going on with Satoko-san. Do something. Oishi-san, what do you think about her case? Oishi-san is, after all, a police officer. Could he maybe have an option other than going to the Child Consultation Center? I also think that going to the consultation center is the smartest thing to do. Then, you're also saying there's no way to save her before something happens? We would probably do the same. We'd meet with him and tell him not to harm her. I'm sure a professional social worker can do a better job than that, though. They take care of these issues better than the police can. The police only take action after something happens, but the Child Consultation Center can make a move before it does. It is happening literally right this second. Our friend is being cream-pied non-consensually. It'd be a lot easier for us if we could arrest criminals before they commit crimes. He is currently doing it. However, we need to be very careful about whom we arrest, you know? We don't want to lose our jobs. In that sense, there's nothing wrong with them saying that they want to wait and see for a while. Meep. Well, I don't think the Child Consultation Center is being unreasonable. However, it must seem terrible from the point of view of those who know Satoko-san and Teppei-san. Oishi-san was exactly right. You also have people stationed outside his house fucking watching him because you think that the Sonozakis murdered Rina-san and you want to catch the fucking mafia. But at this point, I'm okay with letting the mafia do whatever the fuck they want if it means stopping Teppei. They must be assuming that we're overreacting by making such a big fuss. It's only been a couple of days since he took her away. But that mindset can create huge problems. Also, in Minagoroshi, you were much less friendly to me. You were literally kicking me in the face. So, I'm sure they're going to call him tonight because we told them that she's been missing school for 3 days. They'll ask him why she hasn't gone to school. And he'll probably respond with, well, she'd have trouble walking to school. She's so heavy from all the cum that she's been, inflated with. Teppei might beat her up for that. I don't know. However, if he continues to keep her at home after the phone call, the Child Consultation Center will probably make a move. I think they'll talk to him about it. So she might come to school tomorrow? That's possible. Teppei can't stay in Okonomiya for some reason. That's why he needs to stay at Satoko's house. I'm sure he doesn't want any further trouble. He can't stay in Okonomiya for some reason. Yeah, that's right. For some reason, I heard that he had some kind of money-related trouble. You don't know about that, Sonozaki-san. New fufu. I have no idea. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know if they would have told Mion about this. Like the stuff with Rina-san and all that. Either way, bury the fucking hatchet, work together, all of you! What do you mean, Mion? There's a reason he wants to stay in Satoko's house? Well, yeah, Teppei has money issues, so he can't live in Okonomiya anymore. He's hiding on Hinamizawa until the trouble brews over. Then he should hide somewhere alone. Why would he try and drag Satoko-chan into this? You want Satoko-chan as your maid, right? It's the same thing. No, that's not right. Maids are about love. There is love behind my desires. I'm totally against violence. A master should treat his maid with love. Let's just ignore that pervert for a moment. Oishi-san, you think there's no choice but to let the Child Consultation Center take care of it? I think that is the most realistic plan. There are certain steps that you need to follow. When you take a piss, you go to the toilet and pull down your zipper. If you don't follow the steps in the end, it's a disaster. Okay, I'm agreeing that there are steps to take. I'm also saying that you are a police officer and I'm willing to fully cooperate and work with you in order to receive the best possible outcome for the person I wish to save. That's a gross way to put it, you disgusting old man. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't help you. But I do find Sato's case unfortunate. Okay, at any point if you can help us in any way, it's always welcome and appreciated. I hope that everyone gets to have a happy ending. Any assistance would be awesome. The Child Consultation Center is going to make their decision regardless. But what you guys are doing isn't against the law either. What you're doing, Mamoru-kun, is not a mistake. Don't give up. Do all you can do. I support you too. Thank you very much. We went there yesterday and today, and we're going to go there again tomorrow too. I believe we can save her as long as we don't give up. 3 days in a row now, huh? I already took 20 people with you today. Are you going to take that many tomorrow too? We'll have nearly 100. Kei-chan is really talented when it comes to stuff like this. You'll be surprised. There's going to be 60 people tomorrow. My, that's amazing. I can see you becoming an active labor union leader when you grow up. The head of our union is pretty deplorable. Nyahaha. At that moment I heard someone clapping. It was almost 9 p.m. The meeting was over. Everyone returned to their seats and listened to each section head's report on what they discussed. You're incredible, Kiichi. You know so many people from the village. But there are even more people that I don't know. Are you sure? You were talking with so many of them. I really am impressed. They're such nice people. Maybe I should be more involved with them too. You should. Hinamizawa is all about helping each other. I know you're busy with your work, but you should be involved as much as you can. I'm going to talk with your mother about that, I think. That's it for the meeting today. The next meeting is, tomorrow. I'll see you all then. It will be the last major meeting before the festival. Thank you for coming today. Chairman, will you give us some closing remarks? No, it's fine. Let's just go home and get some drinks. That's it for now. Let's meet tomorrow at the same time. Thank you. Wahaha. Everyone laughed at Mayor Kimiyoshi's closing remarks. We finished cleaning up and everyone began filing out of the building. Even though it was a weekday, some of them were going out for drinks. They asked my dad to go along with them. My dad isn't an ordinary worker. He can sleep in if he wants to, as long as he makes his deadlines. Keiichi, they want me to come for a drink, so I'm going, okay? Sure, have fun. I'm heading home now. Going home alone was kind of sad, so I thought I'd walk home with Mion, but she was still lingering at the meeting, talking with the mayor and other important people. She was probably busy with the festival being so near. As I contemplated whether to wait for her or not, Oishi-san came up to me. Good job at the meeting. How did you get here? I can give you a ride home if you want. I came here on my bike, plus I'm waiting for Mion. I see. You'll be waiting for a while, though. They were discussing the trouble they had with the refreshment booth team. Trouble with the refreshment booth team? It seems like such a fun festival, but they still have some issues, huh? Oh, yes. It's hard to make adjustments this late. Shaved ice and yakisoba are always popular, so everyone wants to do those. But it'd be a problem if all the booths sold yakisoba, right? They need to make those kinds of adjustments, so there will be a variety of booths. But people get upset when they have to run a booth that's not going to make much money, you know? They suggest running booths in rotation each year, but some people don't have enough staff to do certain kinds of booths, and other people claim that their yakisoba is better than everyone else's. They also fight about locations and who to hire, etc., etc. I had no idea that the preparations for a festival were so complicated. Everything needs adjustments. I guess it sounds like boring adult talk for a young man like yourself. But adjustments are necessary to make things go smoothly. What you're doing at the Child Consultation Center is a secret adjustment in a way. Satoko-san and Teppei-san don't even know about it. Ugh, I guess you might be right. But we have no choice but to raise our voices. That's the only option we've got.
No, I'm proud to see you doing something like this. If I was your age, all I'd be able to think of is attacking him in the dark. Ha ha ha, man, ha ha. Oh, she must have had no other plans. He stuck around while I waited for Mion. There was no one else around at the time of night. It would have felt pretty lonely if he hadn't been there with me. I'm glad Oishi stayed to chat. We talked about Mahjong for a while. Its theory, techniques, and history. I rarely talked with a guy his age, so it was very interesting for me. It's nice to interact with people from a different generation sometimes. He's also a police officer. I was secretly hoping that he'd give me a hint about how to save Satoko. In any case, I had to wonder what was taking me on so long. By the time Oishi-san finished his second cigarette, I started to think that maybe I should just go home for the night. I think I'm going to head home. Mion is taking too long. I have something big to take care of after school tomorrow. Going to the Child Consultation Center, you mean? Yes. I'm going to fight until they come up with a plan to save Satoko. Consistency is important. This is all we can do. Oishi-san smiled upon hearing my passionate words. I bet the Child Consultation Center understands your point by now. You know there's a limit to what you can do. It's important to know when to quit. If you go too far, it will only make things more complicated, but I just can't let Satoko suffer. Of course you can't. I'm sure the Child Consultation Center won't leave her be either. You guys say either or either? They will help her. They might help her, but probably only after she gets hurt. If Satoko suffers irreversible mental trauma, it'll be too late. Oishi took out his third cigarette. That meant he was going to stay here until he finished it. I didn't feel like waiting here with him, though. I just wanted to go home and relax so I could prepare for tomorrow. I'm going home now. You know, Mabura-san, there's something I wanted to tell you. The tone of his voice had changed slightly. Whatever it was, it sounded important. I stopped and turned back around to face him. Actually, you see, I don't think you should go to the Child Consultation Center tomorrow. You've made your point already. But we need to do this so we can save Satoko. They aren't getting how urgent the situation is. We have to make even more of a fuss if that's what it takes for them to understand. I think we'll make a bigger impact if we go there 3 days in a row. You're trying to show them every courtesy, huh? Nyahaha. But you know, Mabura-san, sometimes you should just let sleeping dogs lie. What? Let me make this clear. This isn't a warning from the police, and no one told me to tell you this. I'm just giving you advice. As your Mahjong friend. The word advice doesn't sound pleasant at all. I felt myself frowning involuntarily. Do you know what the Child Consultation Center is thinking? You guys showed up 2 days in a row, and you brought 20 people with you today. They're afraid you'll show up again tomorrow. Haha. Then why don't they just listen to us? I hope they're not planning to build a barricade so we can't get in the building tomorrow. No, they won't do that. Their job is to listen to these claims. They'll accept anyone who's come to make an appeal. They can't stop you from coming no matter how many times you show up. They know that too. So they need to take care of the matter before you bring even more people and cause even more trouble. You mean, have they already made the decision to save Satoko? Not quite. They've started making secret adjustments so that you can't come by to pressure them anymore. What do you mean? They made a secret adjustment so that I couldn't bother them anymore? I felt confused, and then Oishi-san said something that almost sounded like a line from a political drama. These officials sometimes act a bit like the Yakuza. Oh, I know some Yakuza myself. You know, if I have to, I will bring the fucking Sonozakis into this. They don't want their badge disrespected. It's normal for them to ignore opinions opposing the decisions they've made. It's not like I'm doing it to disrespect them. I'm doing it to save the person I care about. Even if they realize their office is in the wrong. So if they listen to us, other people will come to the office to get their cases taken care of. That's exactly it. So they're more worried about me making them look weak. That's not my intention. I just want to succeed at the thing I care about. I'm not trying to make them look bad or weak or hurt them. I'm just trying to save the person I care about. They don't want people challenging their decisions. They will listen to your appeal, but they'll never change their stance unless there's something odd going on.
Plus, this time Satoko-san's case is nothing special or noteworthy to them. He may have taken her away from her where she lived, but it's a legal act, since he has parental rights. It's not like a parent without custody forcing his child to live with him. After all, he's the only blood relative she has. There's nothing legally speaking that prevents them from living together. But that's not the case with Satoko and her uncle. You know that too. You know how violently he abused her last year. That was last year. The Child Consultation Center can't do anything about it if he tells them that he feels remorse over what happened. And, more than anything, Satoko-san told them that he's not abusing her. That's because last year Satoko relied on her brother, and she deeply regrets overburdening him. So as far as she's concerned, seeking help feels like she's betraying her brother. I see. It might be very difficult to persuade the Child Consultation Center in that case. Well, anyway, for reasons like that, the center can't understand why you and your group is pressing this issue so hard. We're just trying to let them know that Teppei is a violent person. Oh, he's more than that. And that we can't let Satoko stay with him. But why? You weren't here in Hinamizawa last year. I don't think you know much about Teppei-san. Why are you so sure that he's that dangerous? That was a hard question to answer. He was right. I didn't know much about Teppei. I'd never even seen his face. But I just know. Way back in a different world, I didn't save Satoko. I just stood by and... I've seen the world where Satoko was irreversibly broken. We all cried and regretted it. I couldn't explain that to Oishi-san, though. My friends had understood my premonition, but it's weird for someone to be so aggressive just based on what he saw in his imagination. I mentioned it earlier, but sometimes a divorced couple battles for the custody of their child. The couple can sue each other, and sometimes their relatives sue the couple too. Some of them decide to sue the partner not for the child, but just because they hate them. This case is a bit similar to something like that. It looks as though you're taking actions because you hate Teppei Hojo. The Child Consultation Center needs to determine if you're doing this out of hate or out of genuine concern for Satoko-san. Not all people go to the center out of goodwill like you. They can only make a decision after carefully determining if the information given by the petitioner is genuine or not. You need to understand that. So you're saying that because I was too direct with them, they've mistaken my appeal as one born of ill will? No, you don't have to worry about that. Just please try to understand that they have to evaluate it carefully. If they put a child under protection every time they get a report, the nation would careen out of control. I understand that, but we are showing up with 60 fucking people. I feel that if there was a nation that put a child under protection every time you brought 100 fucking people to their center to demand their safety, I feel that's appropriate. Like, I feel like that's, it wouldn't have the nation got out of control. Like, I understand, like, okay, if you did it every single time someone complained. Yes, I understand. And I understand there's a lot of times where CPS would and it seems like it's always, like, they're over-involved in situations they shouldn't be, but they're not involved hardly at all about situations where they should be. It's like, they take kids out of safe, happy, healthy homes where they're being treated well, but they refuse to help the people that are actually being mistreated. But I'm just saying this. If there's a situation where there's 100 fucking people show up, take it fucking seriously. That's right, I think there was a passage in the civil law book the center showed us that first day the family or the prosecutor must make an appeal to the family court. Family issues have to be resolved within the family. An outside appeal might move the center to take action, but an outsider can't tell them how to respond. Again, we can push for me to become family. My parents can get custody. And again, regardless of all that, the fact that you're telling me this shit, Oishi-san, I'm staying longer. I have to tell Mion this. Mion has to know about this. And when it comes to that, Satoko's only family is her uncle. Since her uncle obviously wasn't going to do anything about this, Satoko would have to seek help on her own. But Satoko's denying that she's being abused at all. This isn't going anywhere. The consultation center is simply hoping that you'll give up. They have other cases that need more urgent action, but they're not sure yet if they should ask you to give up. That's what I wanted to tell you today. What do you mean? I don't get it. Mabara-san, when you visited them today, did they treat you better than yesterday? Yeah, a bit. We were taken to a bigger room and the manager came to see us too.
You might think that the manager is ranked just a little bit above a regular staff member. However, his position is as high as that of a section chief in a regular company. It's very difficult to achieve that position. The person you talked to today is actually a very powerful man, more than you can imagine. It's not normal for them to do that. The manager normally never shows up for a consultation. You need to recognize the treatment you got today was a very special one. It never seemed that special to me. I thought we were taken to a big room because we went there with more people, and Rena told them to adjust to us. Because you were so well organized, they're suspecting that you're not the actual leader, and that the Sonozaki family are the ones behind this movement. I'm sure you know how powerful the Sonozaki family is in this village. I do. But it has nothing to do with the Sonozaki family. But I'm about to make it have something to do with them. We're simply fighting to save our friend. Yeah. So, I know you're trying to tell me to calm down on this, but you're just going to make me fight harder. Mion hasn't even mentioned her name. That's what the Child Consultation Center wanted to know. It's their normal routine to politely refuse a huge crowd of petitioners. However, things would be different if this was Oryu Sonozaki-san's idea. Oryu-san holds great sway in the city's government. Okay, then fine, I'll get that. No one can go against her wishes. Wait. This was your intention from the start. You weren't trying to get me to back off. You're trying to get me to get the Sonozakis to confront them. You were never trying to get me to back off. You were never trying to tell me to stop. This isn't quite reverse psychology, but this is very, very leading. You never wanted to make this about trying to tell me to not to go, but that I needed to actually try to invoke the powers of the Sonozaki clan. I am completely on board with that. If I have to work with the fucking mafia, the mob, the yakuza to save my friend, so be it. I'm aware that Mion's grandmother is very powerful, but that has nothing to do with this. In order to make that clear, the local government officials have approached the Sonozaki family in secret. They met Oryu-san and asked her about this case. Oh, fuck! That's why Mion's taking so long. Okay, I'm still perfectly on board with the whole getting the Sonozakis on my side and, trying to beg humbly for Oryu to help. But my first priority needs to be to assess Mion's mental state. She might be very stressed out and anxious over this. They may have even yelled at her. I need to be... After all, I'm trying to save my friend Satoko, but it doesn't mean I don't need to be not concerned with saving my other friends. So I need to first prioritize Mion's well-being, and then once that's established, I can then move on to possibly try to beg Oryu to help. They were going to take action if they found out that it was her idea. But they soon discovered otherwise. So they're not going to take any action anymore? It's not just that. Oryu-san is now aware that there's a commotion going on within the village. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but some people in the village still hold a grudge against the Hojo family, the traitors of the dam conflict. Then I will go before her, be polite, and beg for her to forgive them. Ever since the curse of Oyoshiro-sama, the Sonozaki family has been telling people not to interact with the Hojo family. You might wake up a sleeping dog if you continue to make all the noise. What happens if I wake the dog up? I don't know. Oishi paused for a while and drew on his short cigarette. I'm not saying that you'll be threatened or that they will hurt you. However, you just moved here and you're starting to get to know people from the village. But soon enough, you might get to see the underside of this place. The issues between the Hojo family and the Sonozaki family? Well, village-wide matters have been slightly taboo in our group, but we may have to go down that road now. It's a fact that we haven't got any support from the adults, except for the school teachers and Eri. Other adults in the village must know what happened between Satoko and Teppei last year. They all understand that it would be a disaster if we don't rescue Satoko as soon as possible. However, no adult came forward to help us. If we continue our movement, will the people who hate the Hojo family become our enemies too?
That's possible. The Sonozaki family may get involved if you continue this commotion. You could say the Sonozaki family is anti-Hojo. If you try to save Satoko-san using people from Hinamizawa, that shows huge disrespect for the Sonozaki family. It could create a huge... Then fine, I'll get their permission. I will go before them and beg them. I'm like, hey, I'm not trying to disrespect you. I'm saving my friend. Also, you guys are incredible, and you could actually help me save her. Obviously, with not that much opposition in my voice, because I'm trying to get them to help me. By that point, I knew this was a warning, not just advice. An ignorant young man in Hinamizawa is making noise, trying to wake up a sleeping dog. I know you've taken a liking to this place, and that you're really doing your best here. That's why. I thought I should let you know about this. I'm sorry if I upset you. I love Hinamizawa. I've made a decision to make this place my home. I'm motivated at the big job I got for the festival, too. Would it really be wise for me to try and create all this trouble? I'm just speaking as your friend, nothing more. I'm not trying to threaten you or anything like that. I'm not trying to make you do anything you don't want to do. I just wanted to give you this information. Oishi smiled at me, then stomped out his cigarette. I thought I had just made the decision to do what was right. But was that the stupid idea of an ignorant little boy? Did I need to grow up right now and think about this again? Dark clouds hung over my heart. But wait a minute. Did that mean I didn't even have the courage to risk losing something? Was I not brave enough to save Satoko at all? I had to be the red fire. I couldn't give up, even if everybody else did. I had to fill other people up with righteous flames, just like I was. What's the matter? Nufu? What a bold smile you're wearing right now. Thank you for the valuable advice, but I can't give up, no matter what you tell me. I won't stop even if the whole world tells me to. Even if the whole world is against you. You're a stronger man than I thought. If the whole world is telling me that I'm making a mistake, I'll have to stop and reevaluate myself. However, I've already talked about Satoko's case with my friends over and over again. This isn't just my idea. I'm confident that our decision is the very best one to make. I agree with you, Mabura-san. Young people like you tend to make hasty and dangerous decisions. However, all of you are being very rational about this. You are making a democratic appeal. Just like Dr. Erie was saying, there's nothing wrong with your methods. I know. I'm positive that we're not making any mistakes. We're doing our best to save our friend. We're not going to give up just because we feel threatened. We are her true comrades. I have faith in us, even if the rest of the world doesn't. That's what friendship is all about. You have a strong will. Not even my detectives are as strong as you are. Oishi-san gave me a wicked grin of admiration. I could tell from that grin. He wasn't trying to pressure me at all. It was exactly the opposite of that. He had shared this information with me to confirm that I was ready to face this challenge. I didn't even have to consider whether his words were advice or a warning. Every man has many things he wants to keep believing in, even if others don't share that belief. Of course, it's important to listen to advice with sincerity, but some beliefs you still can't turn away from. That's what being a man is all about. Nufufuhu, I also have a strong will, you know. About 5 years ago, a person who was like a brother to me was killed. He was murdered? The case was declared solved, but... I'm continuing an investigation alone, because I suspect there's another person in control behind the scenes. The department told me that I was wasting my time. They told me to stop. But just like you, I can't give up. Are you getting close to finding out who did it? I don't know about that. Nyahaha. Anyway, if your resolve is that strong, there's nothing for you to fear. Just follow through on your beliefs. I'm often threatened to show more restraint if I want to keep my full retirement pay to myself, but I've never given in. There's a lot of things we men can't convey without being unwavering. My, exactly right. We can't give up no matter how risky it will be. It's important to pursue your goal. And even if you end up playing into their hand, that's what being a man is about. If you're going down, then go down fighting. You're right, waffling between whether to go or to go back isn't the attitude of a real man. That's how a man should be. We bumped our fists together, reaffirming that real men are the same, regardless of their regeneration. It wouldn't be a simple road to saving Satoko, but I was never going to give up.
I was going to save her. I had no doubts about that. Receptionist note, sending the brat back. Magician of words. If there's one thing he's better at than anyone, it's this. Well, thank you everyone for joining me for this today. Hope everyone has all the hugs and head pats you could ever want. And I hope all of you have a really good day.